with a brand new stream key. Oh, there it's going. I can change.
Cool.
I can change the tittle. Sure. All right. Now it knows what it's doing.
It says you're live.
I am. We are. You are. We all are. Look at that. Standing around doing nothing.
Hello, me, 5 seconds from now.
Yeah, so see, I'm not going to...
Actually, I was noticing
streaming that.
Dorothy was actually making motions, and it was happening at exactly the same time.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, as your, there's no lag for you? No delay?
There was none.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. Well, yeah, so can't really do I was thinking like if all of us who were going to play are here, we could potentially do like a meet, but we need to wait for Bliss and Mac, Todd and Bella's characters for sure to do that. But like Matt, if you are, we could actually do a character generation with you on stream right now if you have ideas. But I feel like you're doing something else at the moment.
I do have rough ideas. Yeah, I'm just finishing up a test here real quick, but then I'm all free.
Well, I hope you pass, and then when you're done,
I can pass. I think I'll pass.
We could collectively create you a character.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Nice.
So
I should load up my stable diffusion and we can do character portraits. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Just about halfway done here, so it shouldn't take me too much longer.
The little Shadowrunner that thought he could.
Mm-hmm. Phil, I gotta see if that Canada Post thing is here yet.
Yeah, the tracking number wasn't working for me, so I don't know if that's screwed up, but...
It worked for me.
Yeah, okay.
I just can't remember whether it's memorized in here or not. No, it's on my phone.
Yeah, currently, I designed a bottle today learning Fusion 360, so I'm printing it right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's done in like... When's it gonna be done?
Since I know that my father-in-law will absolutely never see this,
Sure.
I'll show you what Phil made. So I really like him. He's awesome.
Oh, thanks. It's nice that you said that about me.
And also Phil. So we're at their place like in the summer or something, having ice cream, and he's like, you got to have it in a cone, and when you have it in a cone, you got to like get it down to the bottom. So he's like, you put it in a little with the scoop, and then you take a small spoon and you push it all down. And I'm thinking, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I like doing that too, but there's got to be a better way. And so I was thinking of like old military, not old military, but like old muzzle loader guns, right? You have a ramrod.
Sure.
You take it out, and it's the exact size of the barrel, and you'll ram the ball down in. And I was like, we need an ice cream ramrod. So I'll pull the picture up here, and then I'll show you what Phil printed. Because I was like, and I could texted him like, Phil, could you make me an ice cream ramrod? And he's like, what? So I explained it, and this is what he 3D printed me. They're
Great.
like perfect, different sizes.
Gold, silver, and bronze too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it to his birthday's in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna give him. It should be here any day now. So I'll give him these like ice cream ramrods.
Let's see, you can flip them over to get it down into the holes.
Yeah, Yeah, like this.
Looks like a
Invention.
piston rod.
Exactly. So this is
I,
like.
I was pretty proud of that
perfect.
because I'm trying to teach myself how to do 3D modeling. So that was one of the first things I designed from
And then she
scratch,
modeled
and
it. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
it took
sense.
me less than 5 minutes to model it. It was
Yeah.
super like it was a big step for me. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
It's open source.
Nice.
You could 3D print yourself on an ice cream ramrod.
Oh, how'd
I mean, the word
It's a
ramrod
3-step
just-
system.
Yeah. The word ramrod just sounds wrong, but that's what it is. It's a ramrod.
Yeah.
Like, to push it
Quite
in there.
literally. Doesn't have some fancy name that you need to know what it means. You can parse it out yourself. It's a very appropriate term.
Yeah.
My stable diffusion is taking its time to load up here. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. So what did we have for a team here? We had the weapon specialist, former dock wagon mage, rigger, adept.
We had our wizard.
Yeah. Tech romancer.
Just a generally cranky old man.
Yes, a generally cranky old man.
You want to kill me? Fine. I don't care. Dying soon anyway.
On my notes here that I think I took in session 1.0, it says that Gerald was looking for a place to spread his wife's ashes. But when I was re-listening to all the podcasts, you said you think she might be alive. So I think both need to be true.
Yes. He has somebody's ashes. He thinks they might be hers. He has reason to suspect she might be alive.
Yeah, it all checks out. Yep.
Yeah.
All those things can be true.
Oh man, it's just yeah. I think that has to be like one of the opening scenes. Next when we actually do the first, session 1 is like just pick it up with him flying the helicopter. He puts it in autopilot, gets out of the seat, opens the door, throws these ashes out. The rotor wash just like spreads him out. Whoever knows, like goodbye, whoever you were.
Okay, I finally got this thing loaded up. Who wants some character portraits?
Just start doing them randomly. Well, here, just do Gerald. This is what. Okay, I will. Where's the chat? I'll post it in this chat here, Phil. These are the notes I had for Gerald.
Yeah.
I like that his race is old human.
Yeah.
83
Leo.
years old. I'll just let you know.
He's 83. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also frail. It should say frail old human male.
Not just old, frail. Frail old human male. Okay. Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah, what do we? So like if Matt were trying to put a character type in there, like I think there's. I think at this point it doesn't really matter, honestly, because you can double up on anything that's in there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. People always want to like cover every base. And it's like being really good at one thing is nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the thing to do. But
I mean,
you know,
there's a little bit of overlap in skill set between cat and radio. To a certain extent, like they're both.
Yeah, we're both like fighters, but we do it in a different way.
Doing a different way.
More of an infiltration.
But being heavy on fighters is good.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So there's no.
If you're gonna have overlap on anything, it's overlap on fighters.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, that works. Here you go. That's like, I think I got a hit on the first try here. This is, hold on.
I think there's no overlap with magic users.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
The goggles really make it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my lord.
Makes me look bad.
That is scary.
It's perfect.
Oh, Jesus. Remember, was it in this chat? Remember when we were trying to get the His Excellency and how bad it was?
Yeah.
It was in a different chat, but it was frightening and sickening and terrible all at the same time.
Doesn't know how to do a Sasquatch.
No. Very clearly it does not.
That wasn't this software. I think I was doing online for that, so I might try this again and see.
Yeah, that's a much better system.
Because this is just doing it's off my computer, it's not online, so it's a little slower, but I have a lot more control and doesn't cost money. Free!
I don't know how would I describe him. Let's see.
Sometimes it's just a matter of iterations too, just like doing.
Just try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna work at all. You could just put in Regal Sasquatch and see what happens.
Yeah. So the precise prompt that I just put in to get Gerald's there, to give you an idea of kind of what it, copy and paste it there so you can see without the numbers, but
right. Okay, that makes sense.
Who's Murph?
Here is what I just got from that, Steve. Hold on, you're gonna like it.
What? Is he double fronted or something?
Who knows? Maybe one of those ends is his butt.
What is going on?
Welcome to the nightmares that are also generated in AI artwork.
Oh my lord! Just type in Sasquatch and nothing else, or like Bigfoot.
I'll put Regal Sasquatch.
It's just a disaster. It was various forms of ape, looked more like a chimpanzee before. I think that's it. Is maybe these AIs are not up on mythology.
Okay, we're getting there.
Sure.
It's a little better. We're in the range of not stupid.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Let's give it less width, more height. 640 by 382, 384. Regal Sasquatch. How do you spell anthropomorphic?
Bipedal.
Yeah. Anthropomorphic, bipedal. You want to put in his height and weight and all that?
That might work, but we'll see. I got
Okay. His age?
so sometimes when you kind of get close, you just want to run it a few more times and see if
Sure,
it
yeah.
sort of generates something that's kind of more what you want.
Because he's 512 years old.
Okay.
That probably wouldn't help.
No.
No. No. He's 3 meters tall, 382 kilograms.
Okay.
Oh. He's kind of getting there on the personality a little bit. He's on a bike at least. The
Hold on here. Let me
is
just...
okay, because like so
Here. Let's try... Take off the restore. Okay, let's increase this a little bit.
because here let me find the actual picture of him that I like for him.
Yeah, you've been using the Jack Link's mascot, right? Basically.
I think I don't know if yeah, let me find it. I don't know if that's
Which is pretty good
Probably the
Sasquatch.
wrong angle. It's probably just like Gorilla Man or something would end up being.
no. Okay,
More-
so this is
Gorilla Bear.
oh it didn't well it didn't
That's a
just paste
GIF.
in there. Weird.
This is a .jfif.
What is that? Weird, because it comes up like a. You okay? You all right there, Phil?
Do you see my stream?
Yeah, I do actually.
I
That's
can
pretty,
see it.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
I wasn't. Hang on a second.
Oh my god. I come back to that.
See this? There's the Jack
That's
Link's
great.
guy.
Oh yeah.
But that's not. That's the. It's that if you look at that JFIF thing, that's actually what he looks like. That's not.
His Excellency,
Oh, can I?
the Sasquatch, riding a Harley. Let's turn that down a bit. That's negative prompt of cartoon. We don't want it to be a cartoon. What else do you not want it to be?
Just put realistic. Let's see what happens.
Well, it'll should default to that, but sometimes it's better to do. So if you kind of think about the way the AI works, so that the AI is working by saying, I'm going to generate an image. Does this image contain the words that are here? Right? So now I've told it I want an image that doesn't contain this word. So I want an
What
image
is
that doesn't
going on
contain the
with
word
the
cartoon.
handlebars?
You know.
It's cyberware? It's
There it
rigor
is.
adapted?
Sure.
Cyber arm.
You call
That's
it
it.
that. Yeah.
That must be it. Amazing. So much fun. I have to remember what my Hero Lab login was.
Notebooks are good for that, you know.
Overrated. I just have Google Chrome save everything. Why not let Google know all of my secrets?
Well, here's the thing. I reset my entire computer, so there is no Chrome.
I
There is no
almost had
Chrome.
the same sort of problem. My Google Chrome
There.
took a crash on me, and I had to reinstall the whole 9 yards.
That's his real
Yeah, that's
face.
what I've seen before. Yeah.
What?
Are we
a guy?
closer?
No.
This is a guy.
That's just
That's not just the man. Look at that thing.
From here, it looks like.
he's just sunburned. He's just
Okay,
sunburned.
Maybe
Maybe
you
I
could
should
just
send you the
redo
actual-
just that front, just the arms and head of that.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
you can just
See, Phil, can you take this picture
Very.
that I dropped in there and use that picture? So this is his face. Make a body out of it. See what happens.
Yeah, I don't have the. I have less capability to do that.
Yeah.
There's additional software and stuff. I can try it, but doesn't always work. Okay, so which one? The one with the basketball or the other one?
No, the one below. The one with the basketball is the Jack Links guy. The one below is not. The one below is some random picture.
That's the same. That's the same dude.
It's not though.
Sure it is.
Look at his forehead.
Look at his nose and the mustache.
Maybe it's him. It's a better picture though. The bottom one, like he looks like he's chilling in the forest, right?
Sure.
That's what I like about him.
Okay.
He's more in his natural setting there.
Let's put you here. Oh. Open original. Okay, save traps.
Well, I love what this is turning into. You still testing there, Matt?
Yes, I am. I probably need another like 15, 20 minutes, I think, to finish her off.
All good.
Cool.
We could just do what Phil was saying before and just, make a character.
Yeah, no, I'm all in for that. I just need to get this thing done first.
Player name. Hero name won't have one. I'll just start it here.
Resize and fill. Okay.
So.
Oh, that's not how I do it. How do I do this?
Right, it's gonna try and extrapolate from the face to make the rest of the picture.
Yeah, so first thing I have to do is create a new picture that's taller.
Right.
Um,
And then fill that empty space.
and then, fill the empty space. So I'm going to I don't know if it'll do this. I think I don't have enough memory for it to do that.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Let's just see. It's very graphics memory intensive.
It would be, yeah.
So we'll see if this works. It might just crash.
It's filling that bar faster than I expected.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's our new image.
Great.
Why
Hovering over
it added like a living room, I don't know why, but I gave it no prompt, so that's what it added.
Okay.
But we can work with this. Okay, so now...
The initial image you fed it was like some curtains, right? So I wanted to fill up the room. Is that what that was?
Yeah, I guess. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we can turn off that. And we can just go to... Oh, send this to in painting. That's what we want. Okay, so now we can erase all of this.
Right, now that you actually have the extended canvas.
And then we can say... Oh, Sasquatch. Let's just start with that. See if it just fills it in.
The Sasquatch riding another Sasquatch.
Probably.
Error. And paint at full resolution. Let's try that. Nope. Okay.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Double healed. Guess I should be in.
There we go.
What?
What?
I mean, it added some hair. Okay, let's go a step further.
Just keep doing that. I don't know. I don't know about that.
A hairy.
I mean, I could literally just
Sasquatch.
clone, drag.
Yeah. If that's all that does, that's not really that
Yeah,
helpful.
as I said, my in painting and out painting software, I haven't really. Okay. Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
because
fair.
it's still referencing the original image. I'm telling it I want to paint here, and it's still referencing the original image.
Mm-hmm.
Draw mask, upload mask, and paint not masked. I don't know. Um, well, let's try some others maybe. See what else we can get.
Well, see if you can see how different from Darcy's picture drawing radio is. So here was the notes that from like session 0 I got that.
What did I say? Let's see. I don't remember. Mary, AK, radio, adept, bladed, denizen of Glicity, athletics, focus, free runner. Yeah, not really a physical description. So not.
No,
Oh, that's not bad.
but you could like the denizen of Glow City, athletics, focus, free runner. That's good stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that one there on the motorbike's not so bad, Phil. I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the one? He was doing some way up in here of Bliss that I thought was really good, actually.
Okay, hold on. It's
Oh, my graphics card's
Hi.
having a minute here.
Why is there a gorilla on a motorcycle? That's a great question for my 4-year-old.
You should definitely save that.
This is your Uncle Steve's character. It's like a guy that Uncle Steve made up in his mind.
You know, I just Googled gorilla riding motorcycle, and there's actually a good number of things in there you might be able to use for a prompt. Like,
Just
some of them
give
are
me-
really good.
Just Google images.
Well, I meant to.
Yeah, here, let me see if I can send some of them over.
Yeah, I can see it actually. There, but I think that's what it's doing. Is it's trying to do something that's like a gorilla but not quite a gorilla, and that's what the AI is doing.
Well, because it goes based on what images it's seen, right? That are similar.
Well, I mean,
And
if
it
you
probably
just
hasn't seen too many Sasquatches riding motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's definitely not a Sasquatch, but I feel like that's the right kind of character, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, largely, like, a lot of AI is kind of just like scouring the internet for you and making a composite image in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, right? Like
That's
Yeah.
basically
To a-
precisely what it is.
to a more fine scale. So, you know. This is why when people talk about like AI art and how a lot of that is very hard to separate from straight up like plagiarized art.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's real because it's I think it's a useful tool if what your goal is to like replicate looking at thousands of images and finding one, right? And so for like something like role-playing games where most players just find a picture somebody else made and attribute to their characters, it's doing a very similar thing.
Right.
You know, and when you're using it in that sort of casual way where it's just like, I'm just using this for fun with me and my friends, like, that's a good use case. But yeah, no, I'm exposed to a lot of opinions that are very negative about it, and I get it. Like I get the concerns, but I think it's about how it's used.
Yeah, I think if it's like when people are actively inputting other artists' names in order to recreate art that looks like that artist's, like that's an issue to me.
Sure. I mean, even if you're not, like that is what it's gonna end up doing that.
Sure, but then like you're not to me you're kind of actively ripping off an artist by inputting their name as a prompt, you know?
Right, yeah, that's true. But then likewise, right, I think that if you're using it in a casual setting where if you're in a situation where you would just use that person's art, you know, without paying them anyway, then I don't see much of a difference.
Yeah.
It's when you start using it in like a professional setting to actually try to get, you know, this replication of
There you go.
actual licensed art, then then it becomes definitely an issue.
We're getting somewhere. Although I don't know if he wouldn't wear pants, would he?
No, he wouldn't wear pants. What road is that looks like the Highway 1A between Canmore and Banff, actually. Or
I like
Banff
how
and
the
Lake Louise,
road
I mean.
on the right side of his motorcycle is at a different angle and slope
Yeah,
than
that's
the road on the other side.
Yeah, it did not stitch well.
There is some definite nightmare fuel that gets generated out of this thing.
I mean, that's my favorite stuff that does happen. It's the one stuff that's the farthest from something someone would actually do, and therefore it's like that's useful in my brain because it's like
Right.
it's a jumping off point.
Yeah, exactly. There are times where like I'll just sit down and play around with it and follow the flow of where it's sort of leading me, you know, and like, oh, that's an interesting idea, and then I'll play with that, adjust some prompts.
No, I would like to do more art that's just like weird stuff you wouldn't think of. Like every once in a while, I'll see an artist that just makes like the coolest monsters that no one's ever thought of before, and
How
it's
about this
just
one, Steve?
actually trying to come up with that
Yeah.
stuff is hard.
I mean, I think
So-
that one. Sorry, Darcy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that one captures his personality a little bit.
This one?
Yeah.
It's the face is non-existent, but
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about, Darcy. Like, unique monsters are interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. And like that is one of my favorite things that AI can do is just like hear things shouldn't connect that way, and that's what I want. I want to see that.
Yeah,
And then
for
you can
sure.
riff off of that. I think AI imaging stuff like this, to me, the most interesting use case as an artist is as inspiration, like as a jumping out, like a springboard.
Yeah.
So where can you go from this idea? And people talk about like using it as like straight up concept art, and like that's not exactly gonna work because it's a lot of stuff. But the idea of using it as this sort of springboard for ideas, using it as the starting point to snowball from, I think there's a lot of potential there that people are really quick to disregard because of all the other kind of issues with it.
Yeah.
But I think that doesn't really land somewhere that is that use case does not make me feel uncomfortable about it because it's not the end product, and even if I am looking at if I generate something with AI that unbeknownst to me is literally just a real picture that someone else made, if I then springboard off of that, that's not really any different than me springboarding off of the original picture. Hopefully, if I was using existing art as a reference point, I would cite that as an inspiration. So there's a little bit of
that's the other thing I was
there, I
just
guess.
too, is
But
like in reality, artists regularly not rip each other off, but use each other for inspiration, and that's exactly what this thing is doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's just more specifically using the inspiration.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you think of that in the context of music, and then in the context separately of that, like of movies, right? You know, there's a lot of shit that's gone on in the news about, like recently, about copyright claims in terms of music. That's Nightmare Bike. What is with the furry front wheel? And what's going on with the back half of it?
So I switched the sampling method to a different type
That's
of processing. So we'll get some very different results now. Hold on, try.
Like I remember in the 80s, there was like, you'd always have these budget B movie rip-offs of blockbusters, like all the time. It was just super common.
Yep.
And then there's obviously like the porn rip-offs, which nobody cares about because it's its own niche, right? But that whole like, we're doing a cheap version of Star Wars, like that happened quite a bit. And like nobody made claims against it, but then, you know, in music where you've got 12 notes and like very, you know, when things are gonna be similar from time to time, you know.
Oh my god, what is that?
It's your stream, Todd.
This is what we're putting on Side Quests Live. Side Quest. The players decide to stop playing and start goofing around with AI.
The dude
images.
on the moose cycle.
That thing's amazing, actually.
Yeah, that's Macklemore.
Is that Macklemore?
Oh, I haven't actually seen that.
Oh yeah.
Is that a real bike then?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a real bike. That works.
That's awesome.
Like a Honda.
Just remind me of the Yeti bike you just posted there. So.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Man. Okay, Todd, are you actually here, or were you just walking by your computer?
No, I'm back. I'm just eating. I have. Well,
It's really focusing on the motorcycle. It needs to focus on the Sasquatch.
you should tell it to do that.
Problems with the Sasquatch prompt is that it's always like a blurry picture. You know, you don't always see the face of the Sasquatch. When you're doing a prompt for Sasquatch, it's like, how obscured should it be? You know.
Phil, try putting in man in Sasquatch costume.
I can imagine what might happen.
See what happens there.
Okay.
Riding a motorcycle. Man in Sasquatch costume riding a motorcycle.
This is a very strange taste combination. I've got lemon meringue pie, which is amazing. And I've got 12-year-old Glenfiddich. Or Glenlivet Scotch. And
Well, hold on.
yeah, I don't know that those go together.
20.
Yeah, I don't think they go together at all. But they're both great by themselves.
Like Sasquatches and motorcycles, great by themselves, but try to put them together. And everything gets all f***ed up.
Oh man.
This is why I need I need to spend $2,500 I think on one of those NVIDIA graphics cards. Yeah, for sure.
Those 7900 XTs or whatever.
You know, it's a great
There you
time
go.
to buy one. The prices have cratered along with the crypto prices, right? So they're like half price, third of price of what they were last year.
There's your man.
That
in the
motorbike
Sasquatch
is a
costume.
little bit cursed.
Yeah, what kind of bike is that? And why is he
Exactly.
wearing like, coveralls? Has he been doing oil changes all day? And now he's like, instead of going home, off into the
That's
woods.
a Sasquatch costume.
Looks like Vancouver
Cosplaying
Island.
as a Sasquatch that wears coveralls.
What if you were to put Yeti? I'm just curious.
Yeah, you got to
That's
try
fair.
all the synonyms for Sasquatch.
Brown
Bigfoot.
Yeti.
Try Bigfoot. There's a lot of Bigfoot images out there. There's probably more
There
Bigfoot images than there
but
are.
you might just get feet, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when I don't want, like, His Excellency doesn't wear clothes, so I have to add naked Sasquatch. So if I start to add naked big feet,
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's not safe for stream, even though we're not a family-friendly stream to begin with.
I am kind of interested in Brown Yeti. Yeah.
all right, we'll do a brown Yeti next.
Or North
I have a
You
American.
could
feeling
also
that
look at a
is like
prompt
a-
matrix here, where like
It does sound like slang for something, but we're gonna ignore that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Start
shrink
with
the image down. I'm gonna
Brown
stop
Yeti.
watching until you get your result there. Just in case.
Fair.
I don't want to get kicked off Twitch.
That's another good one. It's man in a Sasquatch costume.
Okay,
Yeah, Brown
oh,
Yeti.
yeah, I see
Brown
that.
Yeti's coming up
yeah.
next.
Yeah, see, you can Google images, you'll just find it.
Back in a minute. I'll let you guys look at the Brown Yeti when it comes up.
Again, that whole sentence needs to get like a big blur effect on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're,
No, I think this one's actually pretty decent.
yeah. It's the face is always the hard part. Like that's why I like that one image I put up there, is because the face is so good.
Right.
I think that was one of the things that worked so well with the original Star Wars with Chewbacca, was how expressive his face was, even
True.
though it's mostly hair, right? Like they did
Yeah.
such an amazing job of getting the eyes and the mouth to work properly.
You know, I think if only this one was riding a motorcycle and not a normal bike, I think it'd be pretty close.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that one might actually be the guy.
It might be.
I think that
Okay,
is.
I gotta
think-
get this on stream. Hold on. Watch. Ooh. Yeah, apparently Brown Yeti is the thing.
I don't know what that is. The picture's small. I can't see it now.
Yeah.
He needs to give me control of his screen.
As a reminder, is it His Excellency or His Majesty?
It's His
His
Excellency, but Todd just started calling him His Majesty. And
I stand by that.
yeah, no, it's His Excellency. His actual origin was in a D&D one shot that my son ran years ago. And he was on this planet where he was the only Sasquatch there, and in his home territory he kind of had this like long-standing feud with the Fae, and the Fae kept like but his whole thing was he
Dude's got a
wanted to
face.
protect the oh my god. He's a face that has
He's
been
just like-
punched a lot.
It's got one nostril. It's like like what's the Cyclops term for when you're talking about the nostril?
Yeah. Oh, that's somebody look that up.
A monostril.
That must exist.
He's monostrilistic. But yeah, so he eventually they would kind of shoot him with their little stun darts so often that he grew immune to it, and then somehow eventually like they had their relationship changed and they started to revere him after he saved a big chunk of the forest from some invaders or something, and so these Fae started to worship him and call him His Excellency the Sasquatch, because he has no actual name, like doesn't have a
Of
name.
course.
That's why when he calls Bliss, it's like it's I.
It's kind of like Murph the Forestall.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question for you, Steve. Well, hey, actually, based on the image that comes up, we will choose whether it is which voice is best appropriate for that. Here's the first one. Ready? Is this
This voice? Is this the voice for that guy?
For the what?
or do you think it was this one?
Okay. What's the
That's just
image?
a monk. That one there.
Oh,
I think that's chipmunk. That just looks kind of
no.
like a monkey.
So Todd,
On a scale of chipmunk to Kong.
Todd,
All right, what's up, man?
did you ever do your updating of Mac in Hero Lab?
I did. I actually just loaded it, and it's
Okay.
all working. It looks good.
Good. You gotta send me that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to export it.
Yeah, just do
I
the
think
whole-
I think I'm happy with this. Hold on.
Okay, because then I will add it to my list of collection of character sheets. And then whenever Matt's ready, we're gonna collectively poke and prod him into through his character creation process. By
Since we're on the top, go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Since we're on the topic of AI generated nonsense, something I actually do on my stream is it's AI generated magic cards. So I just took the program I use and made some magic cards for.
Oh, cool.
Well, let's see it.
Oh no,
There's that one.
that's kind of amazing.
Then there's this guy. Eventually, I decided that I should probably put in a proper name. So, this
Yeah,
guy
those
here.
are cool.
There's only a 1/1 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be more. Yeah, he'd be more than 1/1, but still. What? Sasquatch with a plate of
What
nachos? Is that
Is
what?
happening.
What
He
is?
said a Sasquatch eating Doritos. That was the prompt.
Wow.
The funny thing is,
There's
that's
photoshopped right on top of a picture of Beck. Yeah, okay.
It's like you would see this on Amazon, like
Where did that picture?
promoting these tortilla chips.
he's still got only one nostril, but that's like the most accurate body shape altogether so far.
Okay, a Sasquatch eating.
I like that card though.
Street dog.
It's a
I think the
Eating.
final one here is pretty good.
Yeah.
His Excellency, Cyberpunk Sasquatch. I set it to 1 mana and Legendary Creature Sasquatch so that the mana would fit in with that long of a name.
Hmm.
But it would grow. It would get bigger. 1/1 counter whenever
Right.
you cast a non-creature spell. So they're a Shadowrun character. They start as a 1/1.
His
and they get
Graham
bigger.
is the Baron's doorstep, his locksmith the battlement's drawbridge, and his tireless Sasquatch the end game.
It's true. It's true.
Quick question, guys. Are you able to hear the music?
Never.
No.
You've never asked that question and had the answer be yes.
In the past, it's been yes. In your previous setup.
Stupid music.
Yeah, never.
Every once in a while, we can hear it, and it's because it's coming through your headphones.
Through your
Like, it's being
microphone,
picked up by
yeah.
your mic, I mean.
Yeah.
What I'm intrigued by this magic card generator. Where do you go for that?
Oh, I use Urza's.ai. I can just drop the link, so you don't have to know your magic terms.
Yeah, Phil used to play Magic.
It is.
Yeah, what I
something I pay attention to.
my main stream is just like basically generating cards and then talking about them and then generating new cards. And it's weird that that has appeal, but it does because I don't know. You get something that as a viewer you can passively do, right? You just
name your
have
card.
somebody talking about made up Magic cards in the background is apparently something that enough people are interested in listening to, which is great for me.
That's fun. Well, because Phil and I actually made Magic cards where we like physically glued a picture on and printed it out
Nice.
and made Magic cards. I still have some of them.
Were those like proxies for official cards, or do you mean like you made up your own custom designs?
We made up our own custom designs. One of them was
That's
Todd.
cool. That's really
It was called Todd the Procrastinator.
I've still got them somewhere.
I still have it. I have it.
Very
I should go dig that out for one of our
Hey,
streams these days. I'll show
I
it to
resemble that remark.
you.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I forget what his power was, but I think part of his power was he causes things to be delayed in the game, right? So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah.
100%.
Has use case, definitely.
Yeah.
So how do you use this? It seems to be doing weird stuff.
So if you just click on it, it'll give you a random card. You name the card first, then you have the name. But you can scroll down to the bottom and go to your advanced options to
Advanced options.
put in those things. But it is very bare bones. It's just like define fields about the card and we'll generate the rest. And there's just a slider for creativity, which I never play with. I just sort of leave it at the base.
Okay, so mana cost, let's say X.
So by the way, Todd, we can hear that, but it's through your mic.
Really?
Yep. It's gone now.
Wait. I guess because it's right near my headphones.
Yeah.
That's annoying. I really
Well,
want to be able to send you guys the tune.
Yeah.
I don't know why it does that. Or doesn't do that.
That's an interesting ability. Today it's been having some trouble with like finishing generating cards, so if something's not loading, it's probably just.
So once I've done the advanced options, I just hit forge spell.
I'll be right back,
Yeah.
boys.
Let's see. And then just wait. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
And the artist from the Wombo API.
Okay, so what do I just like save as? No. How do you download the card?
So if it's finished rendering, so if it hasn't, you're gonna only be able to save like the image, and it's weird. But eventually it'll finish rendering. If it has a glow around it, it's not done rendering yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
for the ones I just shared, all I did was copy the image and paste it into Discord. But these pages are actually like permalinks eventually. Like you can see if your URL has changed, it should have changed to something like Ursus.ai/card/card ID, and like that is that card. Like it's just on the server now.
Okay, that's cool. And so if it's still glowing, it's not done?
Yeah. And I'm not sure exactly what's up. I should probably ask on the Discord, but see if something has changed in on the site's back end, because it's been weird today. I recorded a video today where it was a lot of just like, these cards aren't rendering, so I don't know what to do about that. But I think they're just taking longer than usual as opposed to actually not finishing. Because I have had cards that just don't finish rendering, period, in the past.
It's so far it's turning, it seems like it's gonna be designing some of the worst cards ever.
Good, yeah.
No, it's done.
That's ideal.
Okay. I think it's done. The glow went away.
Okay.
What's happening? And then the glow's back and the card is weird.
Yeah, so if you just like click on it, it will like roll a new card. So
That's what happened.
you might have just lost it. Then again, the problem with the card ID hasn't updated, so if you
Can I
grab
just
the ID
back
from
now?
the URL, you could probably just find it again.
Yeah, so it was what it had landed on was white, blue, X. Discard X cards as an additional cost to cast a spell. Discard X cards
Okay.
and counter target spell.
Great.
Super useful.
I mean,
Any of those times you want to just pay 1 mana to discard a card, as long as you have a, you know. Oh, this looks much better. Here, I'm gonna copy this link so that. Here, what if? So if I click this, and you click that, it should take you to the card.
is that your card?
Yeah, that's the new one.
There you go. X blue and white. Yeah, it's not great at X cards. Destroy X target creatures. You gain X life, or X the number of creatures destroyed this way. So
Shouldn't be blue though.
that works.
That shouldn't come up with blue. That should be white black, not white blue.
If you input it as
Right,
blue,
but
that's black. Because
I input it as blue. But my
Right.
point is that that effect is a black effect, not a blue effect.
I think
Oh,
I
sure,
think that is a
yeah, fair.
racist picture for that name.
Blephospasmodic injustice.
Now I can hear it, Todd. Turn it down a bit. So
Yeah, turn it down quite a bit.
a
Very loud.
blepharospasm is an uncontrollable twitching of the eyelid due to fatigue, usually.
Yes.
We've all had it. So the way
Okay.
the guy, it's an Asian person with their hand by their eye.
Is the volume still too loud, or is it okay?
That's tolerable.
Look at the flavor text. They fear me as a leper and as a foul-mouthed witch. I have made their rivers flow with their own tears, and now they feel it necessary to torment me in return. It seems appropriate for a blepharospasm.
Yeah, that works.
Now, some of the flavor text is just
So was Discord,
wild.
by the way. Discord was
It's one of the interesting things
muting
about it as
the
they
input
like.
enough, like suppressing it, so I couldn't.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Couldn't actually hear it.
Weird. Yeah, the thing with the magic cards is that they're doing a whole bunch of different things at once, right? They're generating the text of the magic card, but then they're also generating like flavor text. So, like, I'm sure you've seen other just AI generated like text prompts or narrative paragraphs and stuff. So, like, all that stuff exists separately, and throwing them all together is interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, Phil, I don't know where all those previous terrible pictures of the Sasquatch went, but they were terrible.
Yeah. They're probably up in the Game On chat.
I don't think so. No, because unless, no, I don't think so.
Must be a different chat then.
Yeah, I can't. I was trying to go through all our different chats. Your AI is starting to get there with what a Sasquatch is.
Yeah.
And now I'm telling it to figure. Sasquatch is struggling to figure out an iPhone or a smartphone.
Good.
That's much more accurate to his character.
Yeah. No, he's bought off some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it.
That's true.
He may have bought it, but I don't buy it.
He doesn't have gremlins anymore, so now he's just like a person that doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
He won't actually break things by just being in their vicinity anymore.
Because he's learned to not be in the vicinity.
Yeah.
There you go. How many toes does he need? Good God.
More than that, clearly.
Hyper fuel right there.
What
Wow.
the hell?
More toes, please. That's some more cowbells, more toes right there.
Oh, I
Definitely
just want to be
before
sick. That just looks so gnarly. This is what AI thinks of us. Why do we need somebody? I mean, it makes sense. An AI would look at humans and be like, why do you need so many, like, tiny appendages? Oh, God, that's creeping me out. Apparently, I'm not a good toe thing.
You have an anti-fetish.
I have an anti-fetish about toes. That's right. Ugh.
Specifically
No.
Sasquatch pointy gnarly toes. Those are like half tentacles, half toes. It's like somewhere between a tentacle and a claw.
Tentacle and a claw.
It's a talenticle. There you go.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, his face is very gorilla-like there, but that's okay.
That's not bad.
That one's not bad. It's starting to understand what the face of a Sasquatch is now, I think. Yeah.
I'm not even really telling it anything. I've just been like modifying some settings.
We have to do, yes, Sasquatch throwing a cinder block. Is that what we did? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ye Royal Cinder Blocks, whatever that one was called.
Hey, what I missed? Did I miss some more gnarly toes?
No.
You should definitely save that one. That's a good one.
Oh, they're
Gone
all saved
forever.
by default.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh my god, you save them all by default?
Yeah.
That's a little terrifying.
Nope.
That's- yeah.
I don't know what he's doing there.
Not throwing a cinder block.
He's throwing it
Yeah, it's
straight
very
down into the
gorilla.
ground.
He's
It
got a little
almost
bit-
looks like he's got a
much gorilla
monocle.
belly. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
You should put Sasquatch in a suit or something. Like you get some clothes on him. That'll make it distinct from all the gorillas.
I think for Matt's character, we should pick a very interesting meta type.
Oh yeah, what is Matt playing?
I don't know. He doesn't know. He's got some ideas, so we'll have to.
Yeah, I've got some rough ideas, but when I hear what the rest of you have, it might change a little bit. But the rough
Interesting
idea is he's
meta
an orc with lots of charisma who wants to be a movie star.
Yeah, I think we're 100% human. Is that correct?
What? That's pretty great.
He's wearing shorts.
That is pretty epic. I think we found your character there, Steve. That's amazing.
This is when he was trying to go straight instead of shadow running, and he got a job as a bricklayer.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It didn't take though.
No. Couldn't live that way.
So an orc, eh? Are there variants of orcs?
How
we
about?
could
Oh,
go?
hold on.
Oh, there's an ogre. No, Oni. Would have been Oni.
I mean, you can just be an orc if you want to just be an orc. It's okay.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna do a pun name or not, like Ormog Schwarzenegger or something, but it's still coming together.
That was pretty epic, I gotta say.
Yeah.
How about these things?
I'm almost done my thing here. I'm on the last question, so I should only be a couple
These
of
things.
minutes.
Humanoid dinosaurs revisited again. Russell saying it was Dinosauroid.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw something about that. Ugh, cringy.
It's what they figure dinosaurs, if dinosaurs had evolved into humanoid form, what they would look like.
All right, Steve, I do have this for you, but I'm gonna have to go to my technical difficulty screen to send it to you. Let me find it. On a little side note, who's interested in playing some Elite Dangerous? Anybody?
Like today?
Well, I mean, like, in general.
I still have it installed.
Yeah? Nice.
Todd,
All
where
right.
did you send it to?
I'm sending it
Okay.
through,
Yeah. I got it.
Discord.
I also
I just-
really want someone who will play Dyson Sphere program in multiplayer with me.
I'd be down for that, probably. I mean, I'd be terrible at it. Like, that requires multiple skills that I don't possess.
Pointing and clicking.
Micromanagement, management, time management.
Those are not skills I possess either.
Oh, I was also wondering, because I just as a little hobby have been doing this whole like.
If only it had made him a Sasquatch.
Oh, it's
so
I missed it.
close.
That would have been perfect.
Couldn't you like keep
Like
that
that's
exact
him.
thing?
If it wasn't a human and if that was a Sasquatch, like that's him.
Yeah. Just carrying
That's
around.
him wearing a nano disguise.
Yeah.
Why do you need so much nanotech? Because my nipples. I was
That's awesome.
curious to know if anybody else was
Just
interested
felt
in
hairy
doing like some mild level cosplay type stuff along with a Shadowrun and just dress a little cyberpunky, you know?
I ain't got no problem with that.
Because as you can see, I've got this arm sleeve that would be a pretty good fit for my guy.
Matt, would your character do magic or no?
Oh, definitely not. No.
Mundane. More. Would you allocate more to resources or physical attributes?
What do you mean by resources? You mean like
Money.
like gear and stuff? Yeah, probably physical attributes. This is the guy who spends a lot of time in the gym. You know, he's got a chiseled physique.
Okay,
Like that
so
brick guy we just saw.
so would you allocate more build points to having money to buy things or skills to round out your character's skills and abilities?
Probably money. I think that this guy's probably not very smart with his time. He's probably the guy who maybe he like wants to buy like a fancy T-shirt or something, and so doesn't spend time developing his skills. I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the sheet. Like I said, it's been a really long time since I even know what's on there. So
Well, I'm just kind of using your input to organize your priority settings here. So I'll share a screen and then you can see what I'm doing. I assume you're still doing what you're doing, but I'm just getting a head start. So I'm just moving around that stuff.
There's my cosplay mask.
Yeah, see, I think the resources would be below skills.
That's pretty cool.
though.
Let's try it on. Try it on.
Well, I just
I guess-
I just melted it because it had broken, so I'm just trying to get it back
I
together.
think
so.
50 grand is actually a lot to start with. That's probably a good order of operations.
None of said somebody who's never played a rigger or a hacker.
Well, yeah, I suppose it depends on what type of character we're gonna do. Because yeah, we could put resources all the way to the top.
Just full on
Cyber me up.
Cyber me up.
Or you can do the middle ground somewhere, have some cyber and some other stuff, like my terrible mod guy. But as part of his backstory, he's got the cyber arm because of what made him a Shadowrunner, or vice
Right.
versa.
Yeah. What made him
Oh,
not what he previously was.
Well, the thing is, like, if you could live a squishy life, wouldn't you?
What?
If you could live the easy life, wouldn't you?
Oh, that's
Oh,
good,
sure.
Phil.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Todd, you gotta go back to the old
That is his
episode.
excellency to a T.
Yeah, you gotta turn that into a thumbnail for that episode
Yeah,
where
send me that. Send me that.
where he throws the bricks.
The problem is, Phil, can we even hear you now if you talk?
Yeah, you should be able to go.
Yeah, not well.
A little bit.
What's that, Kenny?
I'll just like pop this up in here. How's that?
That actually kind of works.
It's just bassy.
This is a lie.
I mean,
Yeah, I was starting to play Fallen Jedi.
Phil, did you
Or,
put did you
Fallen
put
Order.
I saw
That would be
that. I popped into chat one time and said, "Okay, I recognize this game." And
Yeah, I was.
then you really didn't see my comment, so I left.
I reply after the fact. I should turn
Yeah,
on
yeah.
so I'm not like, son of a.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Strength I gain power. Through power
I was
gain
doing
victory.
stuff.
Through victory, my chains are broken.
Yeah, it makes you very hard to hear.
It makes
I'm
me
just
very hard of hearing.
Raiding my old tickle trunk.
Hard of seeing, really.
Yeah.
So we need to try and keep this seed.
Oh, that's right, because you can kind of tell it, this was good, please bring it back.
Right.
That's what the seeds are for, right?
Sort of, yeah. So the seed is basically the starting point. It's the digital fingerprint of where it starts. And so if you have the same seed and the same prompt, you should get almost identical photos. Same seed, different prompts, you should get similar photos. Because they'll
Which is
start
kind of
from the
what
same
you're
place.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's different sampling methods too. Basically different algorithms.
Authentic ripping tape sounds.
Oh,
Welcome to Shadowrun and Jazz. ASMR.
Go! The face is just why. It's so funny how sometimes it gets the face really. It does a great job with the face, and sometimes it's a terrible job with the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think the one where he's holding the brick is pretty good for the face. And that's probably the only good one for the face.
You know, strangely, he reminds me of our Uncle Andrew.
The lips, right? The mouth. I was
Yeah.
thinking that too. Just a little bit. If, like, Andrew was in a Sasquatch costume.
Yeah.
Do you see it, Todd?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the resemblance. It's kind of funny. I'm sure he'd laugh if he saw
Please
it.
don't take offense.
But this looks like
Especially
you.
family.
All right, I'm all good to go.
All right, man.
Doing it
You
or
passed
now.
your test, right?
You just got okay. So I pulled up on.
What is going on here? That looks like the sloth from Zootopia.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to ignore Phil for a little bit.
Yeah.
Matt, so Matt, I'm streaming Hero Lab, so we can. This way, I can put him in Hero Lab, and
Okay.
you can get a nice PDF of it after. So these I can drag around a bit, but I have attributes at the top. Skill meta type. I put it here so you're not. It's not costing you anything, but if I put it up here, you're. What does it give you special? I don't think it gives you anything special. Maybe low light vision. Let me just see what it gives him. Yeah, low light vision if it's there. If I take this down, I think he loses the low light. No, he still has it. Because I don't think you
It would just be the special attribute points, I think, that change.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think just leaving the meta type there works. You'll have quite a lot of skill points, quite a lot of attribute points, 50k in resources. So it depends, like what. So he's not. It's not a magical character. Yeah, what's your vision for the character, I suppose?
So what's everybody else got here? I know we've got His Excellency the Sasquatch.
You won't see him
But I
actually.
don't think
He's
I know what
not
anybody
gonna
else
play.
is bringing.
You won't see him in the game,
No,
no.
we spent the whole time making that image, but he's not here.
Yeah, well, he
No.
might make a cameo, but he's not gonna play. Because that's my
Dave's
character.
not here, man.
Dave's not here. So what we do have though is Darcy. Why don't while we're on stream? Darcy, give us a description of Radio.
Sure, yeah. So Radio is a human that's been, I guess, not really mutated, like not in the way that's like relevant. I don't know if there even are like mechanical mutants in the setting or not, but they're born in and live in an irradiated zone, and are largely immune to the effects of radiation, other than what it's already done to them. They are sort of a urban explorer, infiltration, and sort of like, you know, get out, maybe knock some people out along the way style character. We're talking mechanics.
Okay.
Also, they are technically awakened. I think they kind of like only sort of half realize it, I think, if I remember correctly. They sort of commune with the sort of like irradiated lake that is part of where they live. And it is part of why they are able to survive there. They're sort of developed adept powers that let them manage pain better than other people can. But otherwise don't really do anything magical. They don't have astral sight or anything weird like that. They just kind of have a couple of low-level perks, which I guess probably when I built the character, the idea was that it was almost like little mutant buffs, as opposed to actually being a magic user. I don't remember if that's the thing I intended or not, but yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
No.
So
And they
kind of
can
like
spin well, which
what's
will
the
never
name? Is it
come up.
Mirror's Edge. Kind of like the girl from
Oh
Mirror's
yeah,
Edge.
that's a pretty good compare point. I like that. Yeah.
And who else do we got here?
Donnie, tell us.
Yeah,
about,
Donnie. No.
Tell him about Cat.
Female human. Constantly wears leather. Black leather. And you'll notice katanas on her back crossed.
Okay.
She is a weapon specialist.
Can you shapeshift into a wolf like that?
Well, that was just a picture I used for her, that's all.
Yeah, okay.
She's human.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm getting like an Aeon Flux kind of vibe from that. Black leather, 2 swords.
Well, yeah, she's more ninja.
And maybe a little bit like Trinity. Right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's how I picture her, I think, a little bit. Not exactly, but
And she does drive a truck.
Oh, your character's got the party bus?
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not a party bus. It's a weapon bus.
How's
I
that
mean-
coming across, guys?
that's whether or not that's a party is a matter of opinion, I think.
Yeah, if you're a weapons specialist, a weapons bus might be a party bus too, you know?
Yep.
And
Well,
we
it's
got-
not that big.
Then we got Gerald.
It's
Yeah,
a Toyota,
good old
for
Gerald.
God's sake.
Phil plays
Gerald is the cranky old man who's just
Okay.
tired of everything. Easy to anger, but easy to forgive. And yeah, you could probably break him if you sneezed on him. And he controls all the things that move.
He's the moving man.
the rigger. Yeah. And
Okay, that's
Very
what a
many
rigger
drones.
is. They control robots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
we got Bliss, who is Bella's character. That's hilarious. Bliss is a technomancer, so uses magic to do the Matrix.
Kind of.
And she's good at computers, big time.
Well, kind of.
And we have Ridley, the sniper,
Nice.
stream sniper.
Yeah. Yeah, Bliss is kind of a little more advanced than some of the other, because he's got more experience, right?
Yeah.
More karma. But she's also, she's not a fighter. So she's more of an Overwatch support type of character, but super good at it, which is great.
Yeah.
If you ever see her on the scene of a crime or a combat zone, it's because she's doing some investigation.
She's doing something wrong. She does have leadership though, so she gives people a buff.
Yeah. And then
Yep.
Todd's playing Mac, who is
Oh, she's my best friend as well.
Yeah. And Mac is former medical tactical paramedic. So he used to work for Doc Wagon, and he ended up having an accident and losing the ability. He was magical healer, but then he ended up having an accident and losing the ability to channel for a while. And so that means that the corporation generously gave him a wonderful benefits package. And even though he was not an asset to them anymore, they coached him through the difficult time to bring him back into the fold. Actually, no, opposite of that. They cut him off and were like, you're on your own, ha ha ha. And
Yeah,
gave him
that doesn't sound like Doc Wagon to me.
yeah, they gave him like third rate. Actually, he ended up having to buy replacements. So all of his money ended up going to replacing faulty cyberware that they put in him. So he has got a cyber arm. I don't know if that's coming across.
Yeah, I
Working
can
on
see
it.
your thing.
I thought you Todd, I thought you bought off the painkillers.
Oh, did I? Hold on, I might have sent you the old one.
Karma to
But
get-
yeah, he got horribly addicted to painkillers
Yeah.
for a while, and so that killed his ability to do magic for a while anyway. So they cut him off, and then he eventually went down that tunnel and fought his way back. So he's a magical healer ex-corp guy.
Okay. Okay.
He's what's called a dry addict. So if he still has temptation to do it, but not as strong. Like he's gone through the 12-step and got out from under it. But if he goes back, he's immediately back to a moderate level addiction.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez, it's been so long since I don't even think I got into like all that kind of stuff when I played it last time. It was like 2 or 3 sessions kind of thing. My experience with Shadowrun is very
Oh, sure, yeah. I have a lot of those, like, we're gonna play this game, and you play like 1 or 2 sessions, and it never happens again. Yeah. A lot of
Star Wars
systems.
RPG. We did like maybe like 3, 5 games
Totally.
most.
Yeah.
I think
Also, like, Shadowrun's definitely the kind of game that's just sort of like, learn what you need to know to play your character, because there's too much to worry about everything.
Yeah.
Well, collectively, like, between me, Todd, and Darcy, we know the game well enough to, you know, to pull you along in terms of just roll this. I mean,
and like narratively, like you seem like you understand the setting and the terms pretty well, so that's most of it. I mean, it's role playing, right? Like
yeah. I mean, I know all the cyberpunk tropes. I've read a bunch of cyberpunk books.
Yeah.
Shadowrun, I kind of know the gist.
Well, let's work through this then. So how big of a person are we talking here?
So my idea for this guy is he's again, it's kind of based on like the whole like fitness influencer, you know, trope. You know, he's kind of vain, really wants to be famous, kind of thinks he's a lot cooler than he actually is.
Okay, so
Usually looking for
Instagram,
approval or admiration. And yeah, just he's a big guy. He's in excellent shape. But that's pretty much his only asset. He's got a lot of self-growth to do, so...
So I would say chuck a bunch into strength and body. Sounds good. Max...
Agility.
Max...
Yeah,
oh,
and I would
can't go
say,
that
No,
yeah,
he's a
yeah.
fitness
Definitely his physical
influencer.
attributes.
Hmm?
And then after that, I would say he likes charisma, because that's something he would want to be good at as an aspiring movie star. But he's probably got some personality quirks, I guess, that might make him abrasive or I don't know, not as charming as he could be, I suppose.
Yeah, so not too much charisma. So then...
So he could have a good amount of charisma, but also be uncouth.
Yeah, so I would maybe
yeah.
put a little bit more in agility and reaction. I think this kind of shows a bit of his physical focus, where most of the good stuff is here. And then, like, I would say what you're talking about, the uncouth thing, is like leave the logic way down there. But
Yeah, I'm
then,
fine with that, yeah.
right?
Yeah, by all
So-
means, I
so
could give him some flaws.
you could crank so the charisma is as high as it can go. Intuition, yeah, he could be rather intuitive. Really, yeah, okay, but then just chuck the last one in willpower. That's kind of him maxed.
So how does intuition work from like a gameplay standpoint? What does that get you?
So essentially, with all
And
of
if your
these,
mental speed.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you got like your physical reaction and your mental reaction, right? Which would be reaction and intuition. That's sort of right.
yeah,
I
because
feel like
your
I feel like he
initiative
has
is
better willpower and charisma than he would intuition.
Sorry, say that again.
I feel like his willpower and his charisma might be better, you know, like you'd build willpower, like, you know, to go to the gym every day or whatever, you know.
Now, just so you know, Logic 1
Well, the
is pretty
routines.
punishing. I would probably bump that to 2 if I were you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dude,
well,
so is
well,
body
because
one
of
and
limits.
strength one. But you know,
okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. That's a pretty good. That's
Hey,
pretty,
I have body too, I'll have you know.
Yeah, because Logic 1 is
show
like
off.
pretty punishing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that looks good to me.
So then, so here's the other thing too, though. You know, Edge is a very functional attribute, so we may want to pull some stuff out of this to move over into Edge. So the way Edge works is with dice rolling. You can use you have a pool of Edge that you can use every session. The GM can refresh some or all of it at their choice. For me, it's usually like minimum of point comes back a day. If you do something awesome, maybe a little bit more. And the way it works is, okay, say you're rolling a skill and you've got 6 dice to roll. That's your dice pool. And you're like, man, I really need to nail this jumping over the fence. So you're like, I'm going to take my 3 edge dice and I'm going to add them before. I'm going to make the call before I make my roll. So now I've added my 3 edge dice. So then I make that roll and now my 6s explode. So hilariously, like with this roll, I rolled 9 dice. I got 4 6s. So now I take 4 more dice, roll those. Oh, hilarious. 2 of those were 6s. So now I take 2 more dice, roll 2, and 1 of those was a 6. And now I roll that. And so now I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 hits on that attempt to get over that fence. So I really get over that fence.
Okay.
The other way to
I
do
kind of
it.
like the idea of that because that feels very theatrical. You
Yeah,
know,
so
that feels like movie star-ish kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like he saves it all for the one moment
Yeah, yeah.
and can pull it
Yeah.
off. I
So
like that.
Edge is really fun if you want to make a character around it.
Yeah.
If you just kind of like only have a little edge, you kind of just don't use them much. Is what I
Yeah.
find most people. It's like
Or
yeah, you
save
either
for when you absolutely
plan for it or you don't use it much at all.
So the other way to
There's-
use edge before you go on is like, okay, so I take my same 6 dice that I started with, and I roll it and go, oh shit, they're all failures. Now I'll spend my edge to re-roll those failures. So I'm not adding dice, I'm just re-rolling them, and they don't explode now. Right? They don't explode when you do that.
I
No.
believe that's correct.
That's
yes.
correct. Or, I know it's a target number of 3 to get over the fence. I roll, I only get 2 hits. So I'll just re-roll the 4 failures. And one of them comes up a 5, so now I'm over the fence, right? That's the other way to use edge. I really, really find, like, using your edge, declaring that before you roll is so much better and it creates great theater. So I would suggest going back over to here. Maybe we take out.
Yeah, like I don't need to have max strength or body. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Like, yeah, I like the idea of edge. So yeah, by all means, go throw a few in there.
Pop a couple there. Oh, why is it doing it that
Keep in
way?
mind, edge is special attribute, not physical attributes. So
Oh,
because orc
yeah.
is at meta type C, you don't get any special attribute points.
Right. So that's what we'd have to do. We put meta type up 1, and then we can get up to, and then you get 4 edge.
Yeah.
There you go. Do it that way.
Get 1 more.
What's that?
1 more.
Oh, 5. So now you got a lot of edge.
Oh, that's awesome.
So use it liberally.
Edge monkey.
Yeah. So,
And I'm
so
loving
there you
the
go.
way that it's looking right now.
So I think that's good though, because you'll still have 28s. So then it's like, so I would.
If you
I
look
think
at the
that's
image I made for you.
So a 4 in charisma, is that considered average, or?
It's a little above. 3 is kind of what's considered your average.
no, isn't
Or
2?
for an orc, that would
Yeah,
Was it?
the
I thought it
average
was
is
3.
different.
Phil, that's really scary. That's actually fucking amazing.
Let's see.
Please, we're going.
Oh my god.
I'm going to.
Please save that. That is terrifying and amazing. It's
Um,
like Yoda on steroids.
Oh my god.
Now, how does like reaction and agility affect your like
Yeah. So
in combat? Like if I'm using a sword or fist or something.
So reaction plus intuition is what determines your initiative here. So right, reaction plus so you've got 7 plus 1d6. So you'd roll 1d6 and it comes up a 4. So your initiative score is 11 for that combat sequence. And so a combat turn costs 10 initiative. So you'd act twice in the combat round. So you'd act at 11 and then again at 1.
So there, combat turn, you roll initiative, and then each combat turn has initiative passes that are in sequences of 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can up
So if
this.
you roll 10 or under, you get 1 go, but if you get 11 or better, you get multiple.
Yeah. 10
Right.
or 10.
Exactly.
Do you go at
And
0?
initiative is weird. It's different like any other die roll. like your initiative score is not how many dice you're rolling; it is a flat value you're adding to your roll. So if you have a initiative 7, like they're saying, you only have to roll 4 to be getting sort of 2 passes, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to get like really high numbers, you have to either get tech or some special qualities can also give you extra dice.
Yeah.
You can start rolling like 2 dice and get like.
I would
12
assume that
plus whatever you roll.
based on what you're describing, I would assume that this character is going to be using either Cyber or BioWare to gain. And so all Cyber and BioWare is going to add initiative dice. So instead of 1d6 plus 7, you might be 2d6 plus 7, 3d6 plus 7 if you spend enough.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we can we can
one
always
of
come
the
back
ideas
to
I
this.
had for this character for a flaw is, like, all bodybuilders like to talk about how they're natural, even though everybody knows they're all on steroids.
Okay.
I figured that might kind of be this character's thing. You know,
Ooh,
it's like
let's-
I'm cyberware free or BioWare free, but really he's got a bionic arm that lets him lift 500 pounds or something.
That sounds like BioWare. Like
Ooh,
you
let's-
would probably.
Let's do the negative quality. Where would the negative quality be?
I think the negative quality would be
Bullshit or
entitled,
something.
Do you even lift, bro?
Liar.
Yeah,
He's
very-
just a liar. Like straight up. There's that.
Liar? Yeah, that's not a bad one.
Did I
Yeah.
make it better?
No. Yes.
Buster.
Maybe. Oh God.
Let me jump back and see what you're talking
And
about.
that's another decent one too. That could be a decent flaw.
Which one? Sorry.
In
Yeah,
debt
better.
Yeah, in debt is an
or
option.
even illiterate. I don't know.
Oh, illiterate. What? Let me go all the way to the bottom. So far, okay. So one. No, I'm not gonna say wanted. Oh, you could be uncouth. You kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
That's all. There's that. So jacked up. Yeah, that's more chemicals. That doesn't seem like him. Scorched. Quasimodo. What's
You
that?
could use something as simple like obsessive,
Poor self-control.
like they obsessively lift.
Addiction to lifting.
Sure.
Is there a place that I can find all these listed out? Like, is there like an SRD or something for Shadowrun?
Probably.
They don't make it readily available.
So there is something I use. Is I'm just gonna drop this link in say re-characters. This is my favorite site for reference. It's got basically the rules copied into a wiki. It's just good. It's just good.
I figure
So
distinctive style could be one. Where you're
Oh my
like,
goodness, some of these orcs you put in the chat here just oh my goodness.
Tell me if
I
that's
could
it.
have put it in that chat too. Yeah, I'll just do it there. I think that's where you're looking.
yeah. I feel
This is the way I
Sorry.
use.
I feel like what you're describing though, like, okay, so distinctive style could be one. The downside of that is it's easier for people to find you.
Distinctive. Oh, actually, I like that. Yeah, this guy wouldn't be subtle at all. He'd be very
Yeah.
easy to find.
Subtle as a brick.
Okay, let's add that one. Add distinctive style.
Yeah, especially as a guy who wants to be he's probably going around and putting his, Twitter handle or whatever. He's got a sticker,
Yeah.
a business card that he's sticking on every concrete pole he can find.
Calling card is a separate one you could have. Yeah, I've played the
Calling
calling
card.
card before. That one's fun.
Where's that one? Let me find that one.
I think it's called calling card. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just
no.
part of distinctive style.
Yeah, I think it's part of distinctive style.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing it either.
Let me just look at.
Peter, I just happened to notice something you might want to know.
Yeah.
On my character on the languages, it says Chinese, but that's not right. It's Japanese.
Yeah.
Japanese, I don't think was a choice.
Yeah, that's okay. We can fix that at some point. Oh, poor self-control, braggart.
There
Right?
it is.
Yeah, that or attention seeking would both be good.
Well, maybe attention seeking's more. So an adrenaline junkie can't. Yeah.
The one I was thinking of is called Signature. It says, for some reason, the character with this quality feels it necessary to leave their calling card to announce their involvement in a job. Their signature is usually some specific item, symbol, or technique the character uses that identifies their participation.
Yeah, I could see that too.
It's what it made me think of if you were doing a
These
signature
things
style.
are kind of like role playing things, right? That kind of even out at the end of the day. They don't give any like penalties or
No,
anything.
they can
They do.
actually give some pretty significant
So-
negatives.
So the way
Okay.
the qualities work is you have positive and negative qualities. So you gain build points by taking negative qualities, and you spend them by using positive qualities. So you could just take negative qualities and use them elsewhere, or you can use them to get positive qualities. I think I generally tell people at character creation, don't go beyond the 25 total points there.
Yeah, there's like a max you can gain from taking negative qualities.
Yeah.
Take enough to get you those points, and then use those points. Is sort of.
So, Darcy,
recommend.
on your the wiki you sent me here, would this be under like meta type and special attributes?
It's
or-
under qualities. That first list
Qualities?
there. Qualities is one of them.
Edges
And then from
edges
there,
and
there's
flaws.
also negatives, positive. There's the metagenics, but you're not going to be using those ones, so that's whatever.
Yeah, I feel like the attention seeking or braggart is part of what you were describing. Yeah. No one has ever done it bigger or better than this character. Character will always try to top anyone else's claims of success, even to the point of lying about it. They may I can lift 500. I bench pressed 500 pounds this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that fits. That would fit.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can
that is
always-
really good.
We can always switch that, but I'll
Good.
throw that up there for now. Nerd rage? No. But give
What do you
him,
mean you don't use Aries?
I think you should also give him low pain tolerance at the same time. he's like this roided out, muscle bound orc who can't take a punch. No.
It's the Captain Hammer thing, right? Her one time. What? Is this what pain
This is
feels
what
like?
pain
This is
feels like.
awful!
I feel like distinctive style should be one of them because I have like I imagine this character
Yeah, we did
literally
that.
wearing a shirt. Like even when he puts a coat on, he wears it.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
wears it over
Yeah.
like to show off his abs.
You know he's an XXL, but really he just wears like a medium because he likes the weight. Yeah.
I think,
I always
Yeah.
go a size smaller. Makes me look slimmer.
okay, distinctive styles in there, and I'll just add some details after. And then poor self-control, the braggart is in there. Bipolar. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, some of them are minor, and they're mostly just for you to roleplay off of, and others are give you actual dice penalties. But at the end of the day, like as a role-playing game, you should use them as role-playing springboards. But
Yeah, 'cause
just
I know
be
they
aware
have
that they will hit
this
your dice too.
5, and I know a lot of people would kind of abuse it to paint some
Yeah.
powerful characters.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how about this one? Did you
The
just call me
classic-
dumb? This one, did you just call me dumb? The character can't resist camouflaging insults into well-spoken words.
I
Character
just
gets
uploaded the quick start rules to you there.
Oh, nice.
the character gets satisfaction of feeling superior to everyone. Unfortunately, once in a while, people will notice and get pretty upset. So the gameplay is any glitch by this character on a social test always counts as a critical glitch. That's pretty funny, actually. Did you just call me dumb? What is dumb?
But yeah, off of what you were saying, like that's that sort of classic old school gaming thing of just like, oh yeah, take the qualities that will give you the most points that are least likely to show up, and it's like, that's not fun.
Oh my god, dimmer bulb.
But yeah, it's really
Maybe even day job is one that might work.
It works at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, like maybe not even that. Maybe it's just something super inglamorous that he has to pretend isn't happening. You know.
Oh, like Foot Locker.
He
You'd have
works at a
to.
beauty salon.
Actually, I like that. Yeah, he works at like Nike or Foot Locker or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Date. Okay, that's
His
that's.
actual job is at a beauty salon.
I would say that's probably good. We can come back to that. So we have to go to social, and I have to add an identity because you need an actual sin. Oh, how do you do that again?
Dude, there's so many of these though. This is pretty cool.
Oh, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, if you're looking at the sort of first list there, when you just click on qualities, you can see the what books they're from and stuff in the source column, which is cool if you want to just like. Sometimes I want to intentionally limit myself because that's a lot. That's a lot of options. Let's just do the core thing or whatever. But I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it's nice being able to see where they're from, so you can see how many like started in the game.
Like Otaku
Yeah,
to Technomancer.
Well, otaku was that old school term. Like it was an in fiction term for basically a technomancer before technomancer was a term, right?
Sinner.
But yeah, and so if you click on any of these, it'll take you to another page where it has all of them with their descriptions, which is useful if you want to just like Control F through all of the qualities. Whereas that's just like a quick list on the first page there.
Why is it not letting me do this? What am I?
Maybe even online fame is one that's relevant.
Sure.
Man, look at this dude.
Oh, you finished printing it.
Oh, this.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
That's not what you're talking about.
Oh, wait. Sorry, what are you talking about?
With the orc. I was talking about the orc. Yes, I finished printing my bottle.
You need a rating
Nice.
4 fake sin. So let me just add that real quick here because
The prompt for this was Cyberpunk Dwayne Johnson as an orc.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Looks like you got some cyber eyes there. It's important.
Yeah.
You'll probably want those. Most, anyone who's willing to do cyber probably gets cyber eyes. They're just convenient.
add identity. So.
And again, I guess if you're sort of pretending to not have cyber, you might not. Right? That would be very obvious. Then again, I'm sure you could get like cyber eyes that aren't obvious.
But... I just find this. I kind of like the look of this one here. Hold on a sec.
You can get cloaked, cyber eyes.
I kind of like that. Kind of like Orc Joe Rogan.
Sure.
There we go. Fake sin. So you need a fake sin, and it's got to be rating 4. And
oh, no one can afford that. Who are you kidding?
Well, that's part of the. That's part of that flaw. Is he has to have a rating 4 sin.
Oh, okay.
To have the day job.
That makes sense. Okay. No, that checks out.
Yeah. Awesome.
Or he can have a real sin.
Yeah, if you want to take Sinner.
What is going on in the crotch area?
So I could do that. I could get rid of this.
It's like a picture of himself on his own crotch.
I'll get rid of this.
That's just troubling.
What's the distinctive style? How would you describe it? Like,
I'm just kind of posting examples I'm finding on Google here of kind of what I'd be going for.
Gym poser. I'm just gonna put that in for now.
Yeah.
Then you can flesh that out. And then so sinner. What are we gonna and then we'll just do that, and that can be like your corporate limited sin. No, national sin. No, criminal sin. Corporate sin? No.
It makes sense that you'd be a sinner if you actually have especially if you have a day job, and if you want to sort of become a
ad
influencer. You gotta be recognizable. probably want that to be.
Ooh, yeah. Let's just say
Legit.
influencer. And you're like a gym influencer. There you go. That's all that you can take. So positive qualities, we should jump because that's a full slate of things. So you're very much like the gym douchebag so far. But
Sounds like
Oh,
the
The idea is that
So
he-
you're
he has
basically
to-
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He learns to grow.
so we might as well take some positive qualities out of all of that. Will to live.
This is actually really good because it's even an orc holding a phone taking a selfie.
Yeah, that one's good. I don't like that one. Subtle. What makes sense? for
Okay, yeah, let's find some positive qualities here.
Photographic memory, perfect time. It's kind of dumb. Perceptive, that's always a good one. You get an extra dice pool modifier for all perception tests. Pain is gain. No. Outdoorsman.
I mean, there's two easy ones I see here. Exceptional attribute and aptitude would probably be easy.
Yeah, when I played the troll with high charisma, I took exceptional attributes so I could get higher than technically possible.
Yeah,
You gotta still like buy that bonus though. It doesn't just bump up your stat; it gives you a higher ceiling.
Okay. I mean, I see guts. Guts might be good. Or a
Guts.
high pain tolerance.
high pain tolerance is good.
I think that would make sense too, because that's like, working past, pain when exercising and stuff.
Yeah, I think the guts kind of fits. And where's the high pain tolerance? What level of it do you want? Oh man, God.
Oh, actually, I like indomitable. You could have indomitable on physical limits. Or, yeah, I think it would be physical. Yeah, mental, physical, or social.
Right, so that just raises your limit. So that's not going to help your character creation. It just means that when you have karma to spend, you can go beyond the standard limit for the maximum allocatable karma.
So there's another two here. I see mentor spirit and natural athlete.
Yes, I feel like natural athlete would be a good one.
That might be a good one, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds appropriate to what you're describing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I'll stick that in there. And then I think the high pain tolerance is good too because dude would ignore a certain number of boxes of stun damage, right?
There's toughness too. Will to live.
Where's toughness? What's toughness?
You roll an extra dice for resistance.
Ooh, now that's a handy one.
Oh, how about the athlete's way?
The athlete's way.
That might be linked to like there's an elf thing.
The Athlete's Way sounds like one of those like. Oh, I see what. Yeah, okay. I think it's an adept thing.
It is. It's an adept thing. Yeah.
I mean, it might make sense that he could be an adept.
I don't think so.
I mean, that is a very fun way of being like, oh yeah, I don't have any cyber. What are you talking about? I'm totally natural, and you're just like magically enhanced.
How about brand loyalty?
Brand.
I think that kind of fits into like the vanity a little bit, you know?
Where's that?
You like brand loyalty. It's really funny.
He's wearing all Nike all the time.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Like he only wears Adidas sneakers. It's not Adidas sneakers. Nah.
So if I recall correctly, mechanically speaking, brand loyalty gives you like a bonus if you commit to the same thing, but you like,
Yeah.
have to as well. So like it's more like a brand of gun because it's a
Yeah.
game where that's the thing that matters. Unless you can find some sneakers in the book that are relevant, but I don't know if that's relevant is the thing. Which is just like a cool idea. I do like the image of like, oh yeah, they you do sponsored runs.
Oh, dude is like streaming while he's in middle of the run.
I don't think
I feel called
Yeah.
out right now, guys. I'm
but
just
I do
saying.
like that. Well, you gotta get those sponsors.
Gotta get them sponsors.
Okay, so I had
How
printed
about
that,
2 pre to hit?
and I just thought, let's do a small one.
That one's
too.
actually really cool because it lets you dodge using your charisma. So if you have high charisma but low like reaction or something, you could still dodge well, right?
Or adrenaline surge?
Well, the other thing you could do too, just straight up take
Adrenaline surge, aka roid rage.
Take you could take lightning reflexes. Gives you +1
You know,
initiative and +1
I
die.
was going to say, like, I wasn't mentioning it because I've been enjoying sort of focusing specifically on the narrative first, but that is one of the go-tos for me. It's just such a good quality. It's just
Yeah.
mechanically really good.
We'd have to get rid of natural athlete, and put something else
I'm
in
pretty
there.
sure that radio has that one, just because it's like it's so good.
I think based on how you'd use your character, I would put in that, and then I'll take out natural athlete.
I think it's a good one, but it is a weird one where it's like, I don't know if that's how you're describing it. I imagine you're more of a like slow, deliberate than a quick reflexes. But that's my
I would
interpretation.
say reflexes are one of his strong suits. He's fine because he's physically competent, so they're probably better than average, but it's definitely not something that he'd rely on.
Right.
Okay, well here's the other thing. You can get rid of that. I'll leave. You like the natural athlete? Let's leave that in there.
I think that one fits. I think that fits.
Yeah.
Natural athlete. There was...
How many am I picking here? Or how many points do I have to spend on this? Or
You can spend up to another 18 points in here.
Yeah. Radio has both natural athlete and lightning reflexes. That's what she went for.
So you could take biocompatibility for both BioWare and Cyberware, which reduces the cost, the essence cost of both BioWare and Cyberware by 10%. So you can fit more stuff in there.
okay.
And then
that's
you
Huge.
one. I see School of Hard Knocks here as well. That could be an alright one.
Yeah, background. Do you have any ideas what you are? I wasn't sure if you were like more of a street kid or more of a like, you know, born into riches kind of thing. I could see you going either way, honestly.
Yeah, it could go either way, right? Yeah. I just don't
School
know
of Hard
enough about it.
it's not super beneficial. It just gives you more points to spend. Effectively gives you more points to spend in knowledge skills, which you're gonna have more than you need.
Oh, maybe I take Trust Fund. I don't know. Actually, I like that. I'm in the shadows to fulfill my Batman fantasy. I actually like that.
The Batman fantasy, or did your parents actually die?
Oh no, his mom is
I don't
telling him
know.
to leave the basement on the regular.
Actually, that could be an idea. Like maybe my dad was like a really successful businessman and he's retired, and they're both pushing me to like do something. And my
Or a
character
really
just
successful
wants more.
Shadowrunner.
Yeah. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, I'm trying to follow in his footsteps.
I
Trust
think
fund,
there
eh?
are qualities based on that. I don't know if they're negative or positive, but stuff about like being born into Shadowrunning and stuff. Yeah.
So you could do. I'd let you do a trust fund at level 2, because that gives you 2,000 a month. Lifestyle for free. That would make sense.
if you want to do that.
I kind of like the idea of that. I think that might work out well. This character is starting to remind me of oh, what's the name of the thing? Suck.
Why is it red? Why does it not like that? Oh, because you need to add a lifestyle here. You did have a lifestyle. Oh no, you need a lifestyle. Okay, a lifestyle.
Yeah. Dimension 20. Have you guys ever watched any of the Dimension 20 stuff?
A little
No,
bit.
I'm like aware, but I haven't actually watched any of it.
Yeah, there was
Right.
one game they did that was like it was like set in a high school in like a fantasy kingdom or whatever. And one of the
Yeah,
characters
I started
got
watching that.
involved.
Or
Yeah,
listening
he's,
to
he's
shit
like the
there.
son of a famous adventurer and trying to make his
Yeah.
dad proud, kind of thing. I feel like I'm.
And he
starting
does
to
some
go in that
messed up
direction.
stuff just trying to make it nice with his dad.
Okay, that's there.
Back a little bit.
All right. Any other qualities that you want to add?
I mean, I could see vehicle empathy combining with brand loyalty. Like maybe he really likes Mercedes sports cars or something, and that's like the only. Because I kind of like that maybe for like one of the skills he has. Like maybe it's not even fighting is his best thing. Maybe he's a really good driver or something, you know?
Yeah. So brand loyalty. How do you want it to play out? Like with.
I would only take it if it went together with vehicle empathy, where he's really into cars or something that feels kind of like a.
Yeah, you could,
approach
because
things.
you could just choose the manufacturer of certain vehicles.
Yeah, 'cause it's one of the
Okay.
ones listed there in the examples.
Vehicle empathy and brand loyalty. Manufacturer. There you go. And the manufacturer would be, well, which type of vehicle are we talking here? So, yeah. What sounds like him? Enfield? Eurocar.
I also like the idea of online fame though. Like he's maybe got. I don't know if that's too much or not.
What kind of brand of vehicle would he be into?
Eurocar Westwind.
Eurocars?
Whatever the flashiest sports car manufacturer is, whatever is the closest to a Lamborghini in Shadowrun world.
Yeah, let's go Eurocar. So Eurocar brand.
Okay.
Oh, we're over though. We need to reduce something. Okay, trust fund has got to come down a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Okay, active skills. Let's go to active skills here. So he's gonna be good at fighting. What kind of skills do we want? Unarmed combat, melee weapons, guns, all of the above.
I figure it's probably melee weapons and fists kind of thing is probably his strongest suit.
That makes sense. You really got to use like it's very hard to be like fists only. Get yourself bad. You'll be good.
Let's add the
Yeah, most games usually are pretty nice to people who want to use their fists. So
Which I think is fair. like
Let's-
I get it. I get that it's cool, but like
Let's add the close combat group then, because as a group it saves you a few points, which includes blades, clubs, and unarmed combat.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's add that, and then I'll just close this for a second, and then let's pump it up a few levels because he's gonna be good at it. Oh, what? How does this not use skill points? Why is that
This is where I think it's a little broken. Because it should be using skill points here, but it's not. Why can't I up the level of that? Oh, you can only get a group at level 2 at character creation.
Really?
Yeah, why is that? That's dumb.
It should be able to go up to level 4, I think.
Yeah, but look.
My understanding is that at character creation,
Generation, it doesn't work.
like you can't break it apart. It's like you have to raise the entire skill, like group or not.
Yeah.
So it might be something to do with that.
Yeah, because it costs you so much karma. You can, but it's digging into this karma up here. Right?
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I think it just actually makes more sense to not do the group.
Yeah, I rarely use groups. They're just there's always like at least one thing you don't want, and then at that point it's not worth it.
So we want blades, we want unarmed combat.
For me, I'm happy to have just that melee weapons group because I think I'd probably use all those things. Like I'm not specialized in any one. I'm just kind of, I know how to pick up a crowbar and thrash someone as good as I know how to do it with my fists.
Yeah, well, we could throw in exotic melee weapons as well and select.
Speaking of
You want
specializations,
something
though,
ranged,
that's
though.
a great way of getting a bonus.
No, that's specific, so we'll get rid of that.
And
We'll get rid of
really?
that. No, wait. Exotic melee weapons. Is there a barbell in there?
Yeah.
Exotic melee weapons are like
Olympic bars
here stuff. Like, yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, no, that's not exotic. We'll get rid of that.
I'm going to take off, you guys. We're not really going to be doing anything tonight, right?
Don't think
Well,
so.
we're just doing this, yeah.
It seems like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just redesigning the
when we
HUD
get
here.
back into the game, I'll find out what Arnold Schwarzenegger there ends up like.
Sounds good.
Arnold.
Peace, hugs, and loves, you guys.
See you later, man.
See you, Donnie.
See, Matt, you have a ton of skill. So I'm going to crank both of these because I think they would just be maxed because of all the points that you have. So you need to be able to drive a vehicle. So it would be like pilot, ground craft.
And I see over here running and swimming. Probably knows how to do those.
Yeah, that's got
Yeah, you get bonuses from natural athlete if you ended up taking that or not.
Running. Where's running? Let's find that. Running. You should also get perception because I'm going to make you roll that a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those just like everybody. Yeah, it's interesting. You see this in like a lot of role playing games where it's like these are skills that everyone needs to buy them, but there are some skills on this list that we kind of assume everybody has.
So you're, you got enough dice there to be able to drive, so I wouldn't bother putting that up. But we could add some points to any of those. Sneaking, survival, gymnastics. Gymnastics you get bonuses to because of your natural athlete as well, so I could throw that in there.
Yeah.
And then you've got some social skills, so con, etiquette, impersonation, instruction, intimidation, leadership, negotiation, performance. There's that. Technical skills, computer, demolitions, whatever, first aid, electronic warfare, there's all that stuff. I think you probably want to throw in something from the social skills group.
You strike me as a con only kind of person, maybe an intimidate if that's
everything con.
I think con.
Well, con all the time.
I think pick one of those influence things. Yeah, not yeah. So I would say.
Well, you're not like a performer, right? You're not like a
musician. Con specializations, fast talking, seduction. So yeah, it's probably in that category.
Yeah, con is weird as a naming choice for that skill because it's like it covers basically most things you want to do with.
Yeah.
Well, it's like any other game would have a persuasion skill, and this one does not have one, right? So it's just kind of like, this is kind of the closest thing. But also, I could see it. You know, you're putting on airs, right? You're kind of a braggart.
I
Most
could
deception
see either maybe
also a skill.
instruction or leadership, given that he might teach people how to work out or whatever, or something like that.
Leadership,
That
I
could be
think, could
fun.
be handy. Even intimidation.
Yeah, intimidation is one of those things that like definitely could be. I don't know if you're quote unquote trained in it, but sometimes you
How does
can't. Really.
the performance work into things? Would I have like perform TikToks or something like that?
Pretty much,
You
it's just
Probably
entertaining.
never use it.
You probably never
Yeah,
use
you
it.
will
yeah.
never use it.
The truth of role playing games. We have a
Yeah.
lot of skills you probably won't use.
I think.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
put one rank in them just so you can say you know it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
feel-
definitely done that.
I feel like for how
One
this
rank is also
character
really
is-
good in this game just because it bumps you from a negative to a positive, right? So
Yeah.
it's like a big.
So you're not defaulting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like for the way you're describing the character, like in intimidation would make sense, right? But you could use it in a social way.
I don't think he's like. I would say he's like probably a fairly mild-mannered dude. Like he has the physical ability to intimidate, but I don't know if he has like the
Right.
personality to want to use that a lot. You know.
That it kind of made me think though that the way he would employ it is to be like, if you don't do what I'm telling you, I will get my 37 million followers to negatively
pictured it more
review.
like a
Correct.
gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Give me 20
Social
more.
intimidation, not physical. Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it gives you the choice to role play it however you want.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like that. It's like this latte does not have soy milk in it. I'm gonna post it on whatever,
Yeah.
tell everybody outside your store is.
Do you want any other of these random like physical skills like disguise, escape artist, sneaking,
Sorry. What's Darcy's character's name again?
radio?
I'm Radio, or Mary, but they go by Radio.
And you are an adept.
I am an adept. That's not really my defining characteristic.
Maybe like
Uh,
low ranks in automotive mechanic, but probably not anything super high. Like basics, basic competency, nothing, no expert. Still needs to take his cars to a shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should have a basic computer skill, I would think too.
Just
Yeah,
being
in there.
Super basic. Yeah.
society.
So I would say don't pick any more. Let's just allocate some points to what's there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because I don't think there's too much else here I'd want.
So I would up your perception. I think this character would be pretty perceptive. I think that would be part of the whole influencer thing.
Sure.
So I'll just chuck a couple of points in there for now. That would be 6 dice. That's not bad. The gymnastics, I think you could add. That would make sense. Like you're saying, running, gymnastics.
Running, gymnastics, swimming. I mean, I assume swimming's as useless in this game as it is. in
Yeah,
every
I didn't
game,
even put
right?
it in there. Don't worry about it.
Yup. I've got
Um,
swimming.
So running and gymnastics, I put a couple of points in there, which gives you a good. See, you're running with that natural athlete. You're already at 13 dice. Like that's, dude can move.
Yeah, right.
And then
Yeah, he does a lot of running.
Yeah, and then what do we got?
You mean he didn't skip leg day?
Couple of more points. So why don't we put one more in con, and then I would say either computer or intimidation. I mean, you would know computer stuff from posting crap online all the time.
Oh yeah, especially.
I wouldn't know how to hack anything. I would know
No,
the
but it's
basic-
basic internet skills.
Computer use and hacking are completely different.
Totally different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sort of like you don't have.
let's go to so here's the way you remember the way knowledge skills work. So knowledge skills are essentially a dice pool modifier for an active skill. Or it's just like a role-playing thing is, do you know this? Can you figure this out? Do you have any knowledge? So do you know like the internal politics of street gangs? That's just a knowledge thing.
But you can also say use it to augment this. Okay, you could have a knowledge skill in automotive mechanics. So if you had a 4 knowledge skill in automotive mechanics, and you want to do you want to see, can I fix my car? You roll your knowledge skill first. Whatever hits come up, say you get 2 hits. Now you go over to your automotive mechanic active skill. You take these 3 dice. You add 2 more dice to that from the hits you got on your knowledge test, and now you're rolling 5 dice for the actual can I fix my car test. That's how knowledge skills can work, which is super good for a hacker.
Okay.
So you get some free language skills too, like your
sound, charisma stuff.
yeah, your where's
I'm thinking context. Sorry, never mind.
Oh wow, there's a lot of them.
yeah, these are mostly ridiculous. Or Zet you would get as where's Zet? You would get
You're
that
gonna want to take that.
as a native language.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I would
mean,
know English and Orcish or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so or Zet would be the Orcish one, so I'm giving you that as a native one, so that's free. And then English.
if that's native, then that implies that they need to like make English tests to speak English. So it's
If you
probably not what
if you have 4 pips in a language, you can do it basically for free.
Yeah,
That's
so
nice.
we'll give you English will be good, and then maybe one other language at level 4. So then you could speak 3 languages fluently.
I would just pick something that's like that would be trendy, like, you know.
Oh, Japanese for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, something that would be popular and kind of trendy, right?
Sure.
That would make them more relevant on the internet.
You can have one other language that's not too bad. What else would make you could you might want to speak the Elven language, which is what do they call it in this game?
Sparethiel.
Sparethiel. Yeah, that would be one that would make sense actually for that character, being an influencer. Sparethiel. There you go. Look at that. Well-rounded knowledge skill.
Yeah, I never read that.
Oh,
4
actually,
pips is fluent.
sorry, we shouldn't do that because that takes away from knowledge skills. Let's take
Yeah,
away.
they're
I
type
don't think I
knowledge.
need to know so many languages.
Yeah, let's just do English and Orzat, and then do some knowledge skills, straight up knowledge skills. So knowledge skills are just custom. You don't pick from a list. So
Custom.
it's-
Okay.
So
Well, I
we-
think he would definitely knowledge of, I would say nutrition, workout plans, social
Okay.
media presence.
I would call that
luxury cars.
let's call that fitness and lifestyle management.
Oh yeah, make that all one skill. Like, that's smart. Yeah.
Fitness. I'll just call it fitness/lifestyle. There we go. And what level? We want it at an academic level, I think. Does that make sense?
And
Academic.
you should give them a separate knowledge of abs.
Of what? Of abs?
All the abs.
Just abs. Use your abs. Give them at least one more knowledge skill. What is something here like?
Well, it's a great spot to like think about. I mean, interestingly enough, I was gonna say like outside of Shadowrunning, but you very much like already, you know, focused in on that. But if you have any likes outside of what you've already defined,
How about-
it's an interesting spot to sort of.
How about social trends?
I was literally just thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking trends as well.
Social trends, and then
He knows exactly when to make a fidget spinner video.
put his
Hashtags.
interests, and then make that a level 2. That's good. Yeah, let's do one more level 2 knowledge skill. I think would be cool for this guy. You know, something Shadowrunny, like Orc Underground, or like safe house locations, or
Underground boxing.
underground boxing circuits.
I like that a lot. I
Yeah,
like that
underground.
a lot.
Underground MMA, I'll call it.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Okay, and we can sort of be flexible with how we allow you to use that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for augmentations.
There goes your money.
So I think definitely your character needs to have more initiative passes than just that. I think you want to go. I feel like it'd be more the BioWare route, but
For sure, yeah.
So what do we got here for?
I hope you put a lot of priority on resources.
Yeah.
I don't know, on this stuff, like, I have no idea. Just whatever's gonna make him stronger, faster, more charming, more physically appealing, you know.
Right. They showed up and were like, "You tell me," right?
Yeah.
They probably got actually quite screwed on the bill, I imagine. They're like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll give you the best stuff."
I could be wrong. We might need to go cyberware, but we'll see.
I mean, you can have some cyberware stuff that's not like noticeable, right? Like, I mean, no one's gonna notice your wired reflexes, are they? They're like,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That'll give you the nice little bulgy
Yeah,
arm.
the caveat on cyberware would be it would be not easily noticeable. It would be
So-
something I could cover up.
Well, it could also be
makeup
trendy,
patchy.
right?
yeah. I think boosted
They're-
reflexes, because it's 10,000 new yen, gives you 1 extra die for your. I think that makes sense for initiative. And that's not going over the top. Oops. Edit? Why am I editing it? It's just boosted reflexes. Yeah, okay. What else? Damage compensators. Ooh, that would be fun. It helps you ignore more pain and compounding that with your quality.
Yeah, okay.
So essentially you ignore a number of boxes equal to the compensator's rating. Let's do that. What rating? Oh, let's crank it up. Let's say this dude has like
Just doesn't feel any
just
pain.
doesn't give a shit at all. Oh man.
Hey Todd, do you remember Stitch?
Yes, I literally threw a tank at you.
Well, you could have reproductive enhancements.
What does that do?
What do you think it does?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No. Trauma damper?
Now, keep in mind, not feeling pain doesn't mean you don't take damage or die.
So you could have like retractable claws. That would be kind of cool actually with the unarmed combat
Really
thing.
cool, yeah.
You should definitely have some kind of muscle augmentation.
I don't know if I want to do the retractable claws, though. I think
Yeah.
that feels a little bit too artificial for him.
So, yeah, okay. So muscle
In the
toner.
BioWare version is bone spurs.
Muscle toner essentially increases agility, and then muscle augmentation increases strength.
I mean, I could see both of those. Those both feel like
Okay.
pretty obvious ones. You'd probably go for augmentation first, but
You could really only do one of them actually based on your resources.
yeah.
So,
Which do you recommend?
I feel like strength for this guy.
Yeah, okay.
Also
That's where I was
consider-
leaning from RP, so yeah, go for that one then.
Okay. So
Yeah, my like advice would be think about where your character's going, right? Like probably you want both. Which one did you get first?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
that's maxing
it's
out
really easy to be like, I'm
that.
building a character. I'm gonna have everything I want in this character right now, and it's like, no. Give yourself some room to grow.
So he has 25 karma, which I can convert to money. Where do I do that?
I don't know in the thing, but it's, I think 1 point for 2,000.
Yeah, I technically
During character creation, it'll just automatically pull it out
it just pulls it
as
out.
you're buying
Okay.
more gear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to gear then. Let's go to weapons. Yeah, unarmed strike. Never. All right. What kind of weapons are we looking at? Melee weapons. What kind of swords or knives or clubs or things?
If I own a weapon, I could see it being if I've got the trust fund trait, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I could see it maybe being like one of my dad's old swords or something like that.
Sure.
You could go ridiculous shotgun. Oh no, you don't know how to use that.
No, I'm no
No,
guns.
this is more melee weapon. So swords. Where do we go?
You could totally have
Like
a
an-
sword and be like that kid from
Sword. Let's just call it sword.
shit. What's that like teenagers dealing with the zombie apocalypse show? Anybody watch that?
Kids. No. Zombie.
It's like
The movie.
basically there's this virus that kills adults or turns them all into zombies, but
Let's
not
add
teenagers.
that.
And there's this like one kid who runs around pretending to be a samurai, but he really doesn't know how to fight.
That feels like something I would know about, and I've never heard of it.
That
Gonna
I want
add
to
a
go to
knife
there.
in there.
It's pretty cheesy but entertaining.
Yeah, I'm down.
Is it Daybreak? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, yeah, Daybreak. That's it.
Stun.
I think that was a book originally.
Yeah, everything's a book originally.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, garrote, nux. Oh yeah, let's put some nux in there. I'll add that. And a shock glove, why not?
Shark gloves are great. That's my signature.
Shock glove.
Yeah, I like the idea of him having knuckles or like shock glove more than I like the idea of him having a sword.
Well, you can have all that too. It just costs like he's got an assortment of
Yeah.
weapons. It's pretty cheap actually.
I
to get
feel
that
like I'll
stuff.
pick up things as I go along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going mechanically, like if you're trying to power game your thing, you're gonna probably want to focus on either stun or like lethal damage, right? So
Yeah.
sword, that cuts people up, they die. Knuckles and shock gloves, that's just gonna knock them out, right? But
Yeah.
you can take a certain amount on each track before you get knocked out. They don't add together really. So
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure at least
you
one
cut
of them
somebody
is
and then punch somebody,
really good
they'll
at
still be
combat,
standing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is just like, yeah, if that's something
I'm
that
not
you
too
want
worried
to
about
consider.
min-maxing for combat.
Yeah.
Super fair. It
Especially
just
on
felt
a
like it was
first
worth
character, I don't
mentioning.
even know how the game works, right? So
Yeah.
So you'll need some armor. Let's.
Armored vest, so the guns are still out.
Now this dude would have some high-end clothing, so I'm like, what's some good clothing?
Yeah, you just got a sweaty tank top. That's it.
Murder armor. What?
That's like theater.
Yeah, that's hard. You can't. That's hard to get. No, okay, so that none of that makes sense. I think you'd have some fashion-y clothing armor. You could have like an urban explorer jumpsuit. That's a. He's probably got more than one kind of armor.
I feel like the main things I probably spent my money on was clothes and cars.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, Batman.
Yeah,
high
pretty much.
fashion.
Yeah.
An Armante suit. Yeah, let's throw that in there so you can dress up and be wearing a suit.
Yeah, that's probably good. Okay, close that. Okay, got a couple of chunks of armor. Matrix. He's gonna need a matrix device of some kind. Oh,
Probably
what?
a fancy one.
You gotta have the fanciest one. Get him the fanciest one.
Here's the Wes versus Josh training montage from Daybreak.
Yeah, we're gonna go Transis Avalon. We'll have a freaking awesome one. Programs. Yeah, we'll add the basic stuff. We'll have Comligabs, Diagnos, Mapsoft. I don't know why it doesn't like that, but whatever. Why does it not like that? Okay, what diagnostics? Oh no, we can't do that. That's why. It's too much. Too much. Programs. What programs can it have? Yeah. Mapsoft. Datasoft. And then Shopsoft. Sure. That makes sense. No, we're not enchanting it. Okay. That
Great.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's it. And then gear. Just need some random gear, right? So you need like
There is, Steve, just to save you time and also so you don't forget something kind of vital.
Yeah.
There is a pack for Shadowrunners.
Where's
Like,
that?
you just buy it. It's somewhere in the bottom of the list. I'll see if I can find it.
I do like the idea of your characters being like, "What's the Shadowrun starter pack?" There we go. Grab that.
Yeah. Exactly.
In your go bag. Yeah. Just have a duffel full of stuff.
Yeah, I like that, a duffel full of stuff. I don't even know what half of it is, but it's my shadow
Yeah.
running kit. Yeah.
Oh, I got something for that probably.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Actually, the idea, like,
What does this
launching
even
back
do? No.
Oh, it doesn't have it in this version of Huh.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't have access to that for some reason. I don't know where that went. Anyway, maybe it's gone. Maybe it's a feature I no longer.
Yeah.
No
I'm
longer
just
have.
gonna. I'm just gonna. Yeah. Let's go. Okay. E-paper.
Alternatively, if you're super fresh, you might just show up and not realize what you need, and then you start buying stuff on the job as you need them. Don't even worry about it. Just have some money. Just have some spending money.
I like that too.
Subvocal microphone. Yeah, he would
That's
have
the
a
things,
trick
right? You
detector,
buy all these like
sure.
random gadgets, and you may or may not even use them. And it's a whole
Bug
thing.
scanner. Sure, you can have a bug scanner. Why not?
I guess it all just depends on how Batman you really are.
Certified cred stick. You're gonna need that. Let's chuck that in there.
Looks like my gear section's empty here. I got them all on the iPad.
By the way,
though.
Jay isn't here
You
tonight,
got this.
but he does want to play, and he's probably going to bring Adrian, his face character.
Okay.
Cool.
Like Face from the A-Team?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's sweet, okay.
Let's go with. Do you want an endoscope? Why would
So
you
I
have
got my
It's time for your checkup.
earbuds?
Just nitroglycerin.
Let's get him a laser microphone. I mean, why not? Sometimes you want to listen to people from far away.
Well, make sure you go for stuff that would make sense for an influencer type.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. How about you would have some various ways to tie people up, like containment manacles,
dude, I
mage
totally
cuffs.
zoned out for a minute there.
Mage mask.
You need to get an implanted, what do they call it? SimSense recorder.
Oh yeah.
Maybe if you want to do that thing.
Okay.
SimSense record. I don't see it.
It's an
Yep,
implant.
he definitely makes BTLs
Okay, we can go back and add that. I think they kind of
because he believes. I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but he believes that he lives the best life, and everyone else
Right.
wants to be him.
Okay.
Yep.
Add BioWare.
Yes,
Would it be
yes.
SimSense recorder?
Yeah, I mean that would be a thing that
It's
anyone
not
would
Maya.
would do probably. That's a good point.
Very much the idea of this character is partly like I'm experienced at this game, so the character maybe isn't an expert Shadowrunner, so he's kind of learning as I am, you know. So
Totally.
Sim.
he's probably gonna show up pretty unprepared to the first
A
job.
sim rig.
I like
right?
it.
That's it.
Sim rig. Yeah.
Yeah, sim rig, and then you need a recorder for the SimSense. Yeah, totally.
That's what I was trying to.
Well,
come
you
up
would
with.
just do that through your comm.
SimRig is the recorder.
Yeah, SimRig is a recorder.
Okay, I think it might be an add-on, but I could be mistaken.
Let me just see.
It says the SimSense recorder can record experience data from you or whoever is wearing it. SimRigs are used to make most of the SimSense chips sold on the market. You'll need to have a working sim module to make a recording.
Oh, so I need
There
a
you go.
sim module here?
Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking of.
Oh, that's probably just the gear, though.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that would just be in his gear over here.
But there's often like an implanted recorder.
Yeah, that's what we got. We got that. This is the
SimRig.
sim rig.
Nice. Yeah.
SimRig's the recorder, and then you'll
There we
need a
go.
data jack too.
Modify. Yeah, see, sim rig is not implanted, so you can just modified for hot sim. Ooh, so you can do both. Yeah, we're throwing that in there. So people could be experiencing what you're doing live.
Oh, it's just his OnlyFans account.
Okay, he needs a vehicle. And we're going, what are we going here? Oh, wait, have we
Hold on, does that mean he has done pornography?
Oh God, yeah. I think that's a given.
Eurocard North Star.
Probably, yeah,
fraud.
probably.
That's $115,000.
Off of the old famous Pork Hub website.
Oh,
Or Cub, yeah.
Orc
Okay.
Hub.
Westwind. So the Eurocard North Star is more than you can possibly afford, even though you're loyal to them.
Oh, you should get a used Westwind.
Yeah, so that's how do
What's
I
your character's name, Matt?
custom vehicle?
So far, I'm not totally sure yet, but it's probably going to be a pun on like a famous action movie star or bodybuilder or something like that, you know.
Nice.
Eurocard
I'm gonna call you
Westwind.
Ripped for now. You tell me.
The best I've come up with so far is Ormok Schwarzenegger, but I'm not happy with that. I think it's probably going to evolve from there.
That is a good name. And don't
Yeah, I
forget, you
remember.
want a name and a handle, so they're not always the same thing.
Or
Yeah, you want something punchy for a handle. Something that your random teammates that you're meeting for the first time won't forget, so you end up getting called the Orc. Because nobody wants that.
Sylvestork.
Dork the Orc.
No, I can't.
Jean-Claude Van Ork.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking something along like a Jean-Claude pun as well. I can't remember what I was thinking, but I had one the other day for that.
Okay, so you can't have anything.
What are all
by
of his
your
character
own.
names?
You could be loyal to a different brand. We'll change that because
Characters.
not Eurocar.
Yeah.
We'll just
The
change
building of
it.
this character does
Boudreaux.
remind me so much of when I made my you know,
Luke
celebrity
Devereux.
style. Like I wanted this character to be rich, sort of thing, and it's just like, oh, you just can't
Yeah.
because the game is balanced around you being able to afford these really
Yeah,
fancy things that
yeah.
actually affect your gameplay. So that's what they're thinking of when they think about your money, and they limit how much money you have. And you're like, I just want a sports car. And you're like, nope, you can't do it.
Steve,
Okay.
there is the option to have a used one. Just saying.
Well, how do I
A
do
Universal
that?
Soldier. Private Luke
How do I
Devereux
make it
is his
used?
character's name. So he could be Luke Devereux.
See, I can't modify this. Right?
Kurt Sloan.
So here's so looking at the rules, it just says I take a penalty when using something that's not the preferred brand. So
So I say
I
you
still
could
think
take
my
a Westwind,
yeah,
but
I
you
still
can
think
only
my-
afford a Honda.
Yeah.
And
like
you're
my
always
preferred
driving
brand
it
would
pretty
be whatever
crappy.
is the top of the
But
line.
when you
that's
get in a
fine.
Westwind,
Yeah.
boom,
Right.
you're ready.
So yeah,
Exactly.
like his goal is
That's what
to
you
get
wish
one
you
of
were
these.
driving. Yeah.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of my credits for sim experience driving
Okay.
whichever the top line is. But yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't necessarily afford it.
And you,
Um,
yeah, you've got the you're slowly gathering like paraphernalia, like you wear the coat, like the Porsche
Yeah.
jacket, but you can't afford the Porsche, and you
Exactly.
got the not hubcaps, on the hood. Hood
what
ornament on
Yeah.
your Honda is that of a Westwind.
What
I
style
like
of
that.
vehicle?
That's good.
Are we going car here? Or van? What else we got? Hovercraft? No. That's all specialized stuff. So it's going to be a car, some kind of car. What do we got that's in the game here? We got Chevrolet longboard. What's that? Nope. Where did I go here? Oh, starting to lose my sense of brain. Oh, it's a 19...
Sorry, Jean-Claude Van Damme played a character named Gay Karate Man.
True.
Amazing.
Actually,
I like this Chevy longboard. A blast from the past. This wagon-style car has the look of the 1970s.
A movie called Monaco Forever. Please tell me somebody's watched that.
I have not.
And introducing
called?
Jean-Claude Van Damme as, quote, the homosexual on the movie poster.
What's the name of a stealth adept in the game? Infiltration expert, right?
Matt, what
Sure.
about this Seder
Could be,
Crew
depending.
Bentley Concordat? It's a luxury sedan and a stylish, stately, and impressive. Fast and powerful, comfortable and safe. Opulently appointed, and most importantly, a status symbol.
yeah,
I think
okay.
you should
there you
make
go.
up your own brand and just layer it onto one of the existing vehicle models.
Oh, that's
It's
a
gonna be
little
like
too much.
very
too.
much specifically like your thing.
Yeah, we could customize it. Let's go to custom vehicles.
Also, is it like
Yeah.
a sports car he's looking for, or is it more
Yeah,
like a
so
rain kind of thing?
let's call it.
So he would basically it's more just about it being a status symbol than it even is about being a
Yeah.
fast car.
Sure.
So I like what Steve found there. But yeah, his brand loyalty it would be to whatever is seen as the top of the line sports car that makes the coolest sports cars that everybody wants. And so like it would be like I want a Lamborghini Murcielago or whatever, you know, because it says I have to pick like a brand and then a product. So when I use that brand, I get a +1, and then I have using that product, it's another plus one. I think is.
Oh, I think he should definitely have a sob then, because like those have officially gone extinct in the real world, and the fact that they would come back, he'd be like, just like me, you know, like orcs that have come back from non-existence. Sob is back.
Yeah. So if I'm putting in this custom,
Right, you get +1 die pool bonus on every roll involving gear made by that manufacturer. Whatever involving gear means. That'd be so funny if it was just like a fashion brand. You're just like, I'm wearing it, it counts. You just like get +1 on everything. That is so
+1 to all social
That'd be so
interactions.
funny. That'd be so funny.
Calvin
Whenever I
Klein.
think of that, I think of the Wayne's World bit with Garth
Yeah, I
just
can't-
all
I can't-
Adidas or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't customize.
It should be a
People only
sport
do
brand. It
things
really
because
should.
they get paid, and that's just like really sad.
Yeah, I think Sob is kind of cool, but
That's pretty good.
Again, he can't afford it. He can only afford something like. How much can he afford? Like 20 grand or something like that.
Yeah, well, those things lose value so quick off the lot.
Yes, but the Sob Dynamit's 98,000. 98,000.
Yeah, so give it to him at like.
I
You know,
can't though. I can't edit it. Like that's
Yeah,
the
you
thing.
can
Where?
obtain for free.
Custom one, and then you just use
Where?
the same name.
How do I make him obtain it for free?
There's a little checkbox for
Where?
obtain for free.
Where?
Oh, never mind. Mine has it.
Yeah, because your characters already exists. At character creation, you can't do that. You gotta buy it.
Okay, well then just don't, right? Like
Can you make a
if you're
custom?
gonna give it away for free anyway.
Yeah,
just
but you
add
can
it
make a
after you're
custom
done.
vehicle, but you can't put any stats in for it. It's just a name. It's just this. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like if the goal is to give it for free anyway, just like add it after the character's done, right?
Yeah. I think you should take the Chevy longboard because I think that's hilarious.
I don't know. Is it an uncool car? I don't know.
It's retro.
It's a
awesome.
Woody station wagon.
It's a Woody station wagon.
Yeah, that sounds kind of lame. I think I'd rather walk. Can't be caught dead in that thing.
What I'm enjoying about brand loyalty is
It's
that
your
it's
mom's
a
car.
positive quality that you basically just turned into a negative quality. Like I'm picturing you as doing this thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm loyal to this brand. I can't afford that brand, so I just walk instead. But if
Okay.
I won't dare get into a car that's not that brand.
That's what's
I
happening.
feel like I take a lot of selfies in front of other people's cars, pretending it's mine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're going contacts. Adding a custom contact here.
You like,
Um,
you know, rent a car to be in a music video style thing.
You could
Yeah,
pick
Be
the
that.
you could pick the Honda Spirit. Stat wise, would kind of be equivalent to a shitty used Sob Dynamite.
I mean, I still think the question is right. Is that like the brand loyalty wants you to choose like a brand, and they can make more than one vehicle, right? Like, you know, so
Okay, that.
you could be like, yeah, it's this high end brand that also makes this like kind of not great thing, but it's the same brand.
Well,
Counts.
you know, Lamborghini's a good choice because they also make tractors. So
There you go.
Oh my god.
It's a Lambo.
So he needs
you
to
can tell
know.
people that
on
not
it.
be lying. Yeah.
He needs to know some people. So
Ah.
one of them I'm putting in is the fixer that the rest of the group knows. But yeah, some people in the world. What would make sense for him?
I just saw one in there, used car salesman.
Oh yeah.
I would like you to know a like other influencer that you have like a sort of fake beef with for
Yes,
like
yes.
that sort of thing. But like they're still like actually a good social contact because they know lots of people and blah blah blah, right? Like there's somebody you can go to for like, do you know this? And you give them like a description of a person. They're like, oh yeah.
Would
Right?
that
They're
be
like an independent
Like just like you, they have
media.
Other thing that just the
That would
thing.
be a
media
club kid.
person. Yeah.
I think that would be a club kid. That's what they're called in here.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, that would work well.
I would have thought they'd be like a media mogul, but like nerfed.
Could be that.
Probably easier to start with the club kid instead. Yeah. Depending on the level of.
No,
like,
yeah.
I imagine you're not that big of a influencer too, right? Like you're kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If you were doing well at it, you wouldn't also be Shadowrunning probably, right?
Exactly.
It's something you want to take off.
I mean, that might even be part of why I'm Shadowrunning, is I think it'll build up my
Exactly.
clout game. Yeah.
Totally, right? Just be careful about how much you say about your Shadowrunning online. Gonna get us all.
So why is it showing that he's got 7 karma still? What am I not? What do we need to spend that on?
You guys ever heard of a YouTube channel called Ali Law?
No.
I could spend that on
So
gear.
it's these British kids, and basically they would film themselves like trespassing places overnight. Like they'd break into like Air Zone and like ride the inflatables and like jump on the trampolines, and then security comes and they run away. But of course they went and uploaded the video proof of them serially trespassing in like community center, like swim in the pool at midnight. So obviously police are like, well, we know where you broke into and who you are, and like they all very quickly got busted for trespassing, obviously, stuff.
Yeah.
Shock me, shock me, shock me.
I'm gonna say 2 meters tall-ish,
Sure.
and then yeah, sure. Ethnicity orc. Hair
Yes.
black. Eyes 2.
No.
Um,
I assume maybe you're missing one. I don't know. It's possible.
I would say he's probably got like blue eyes, or like silvery blue, steely blue, that kind of thing.
Okay, let's do blue. You can add that stuff later. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not important.
So you could buy some more gear, or yeah. Can we add more to this? Yeah, we can add more skills actually to use up the rest.
I like
of this.
the idea of having 3 running. That's
Okay.
that's probably a good one to up a little
More
more.
running.
Sure.
More running.
You might want to consider throwing weapons. Get
There's
something
2 whole
range.
group skills you haven't added yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, throwing stuff could be
The
good.
problem with the groups.
I don't know
is,
how
like,
high
you
pilot
can't-
groundcraft should be, but it's only a 1, so I don't know
can't
if
raise
that's
It's probably
Bad.
about right. It's
Yeah,
one
but
of those
the
things,
skills
right,
are
where
No,
the
that's
game sort of assumes that you know
Already.
how to drive, and then that's more like stunt driving, kind of, right? It's like a lot of role playing games do that, where it's like, oh, this is assumed knowledge, and then the skill is like serious driving, right?
not Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
That's one game that really punishes you for not knowing how to drive.
Let's try and find a
This
group
game
of
does
stuff
that too.
doesn't have-
Sometimes.
I would have to read the keeper guide for that, right? Like that might be how people run it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's what's intended, right? Happens all the time.
Actually, so yeah, maybe what I'll do is.
Yeah, you'll only make the roll if it's happening under pressure, right? And then yes, you are going to want to make sure you have that skill, but driving around town, you probably don't need it if that's what you do.
Yeah,
right?
when I've run it, we've never done it for like driving around town, but it's like,
Exactly,
the
right?
minute you got to make them escape and there's some creature on your tail, it's like everybody's just failing driving tests, right?
I mean, and that is fair because it's a high stakes situation where you're panicking. It's more about like, can you drive without freaking out? It's more like a keeping your cool test, but
Yeah, one
Isn't
time
there,
we
like,
even had a character, he was like a rich guy, so he had like a driver for him, right?
sure.
But the problem with that too is like the driver doesn't have any experience with the mythos. Like he sees a
Right,
creature and
yeah.
he immediately, loses his sanity or whatever and just can't drive anymore. So
Yep.
Why does it not like this? Why is it making this red? Availability, maybe?
I feel like you would probably have the athletic skill group, right?
Yeah. His skills are all in there, though. He can't have any more skills, but I can up the levels of them, and which will use karma, I think. Or can I add more skills? Yes, I can. It just uses karma. Okay. But the problem is he's already got that stuff.
If I
Right.
recall correctly, like, yeah, if you're gonna be spending karma on skills, you want to be picking up like ones. Ones work really well for that. It's just like, yeah, level one of this, level one of that. Again, it lets you not be being a negative, and you can cover a lot of stuff. That might come up, right?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, you can even give him level 1 in something basic like handguns or something, just so he like knows how to use it, but isn't really great. Yeah, or first aid. That's a
Right.
good one too.
Mom, I don't want to have to use a handgun. Everyone's gonna need to know that.
Yeah, so that'll be.
It's pretty legit, right? It's like you don't want to be doing it because you're probably just gonna fail as a player, but as a character, you need to like justify that knowledge so you don't like shoot yourself on accident. You know, like,
Yeah, I'll throw in pistols, automatics.
the mechanics inform the fiction, right? So
Escape artist.
yeah.
Sneaking.
He's got perception. He's got gymnastics, right?
Throw sneaking in there.
I don't know if maybe I get to increase these when I level up too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something
You
he
probably
might-
do want sneaking of some kind.
Yeah. What's free fall?
The ones you definitely don't want to do without: gymnastics, con, unless it's part of the story. Gymnastics, con, sneaking, and I guess that's about it.
How about
Yeah, okay.
disguise?
Yeah, give me some sneaking then, yeah.
How about,
Yeah, some of these things are really important just because, like,
I think
if the entire team does it all together, you don't want to be the one that fails.
I think you
Even though
should
you're
have,
not going to be going off and like sneaking on your own, right?
Yeah. I think you should have disguise because it would make sense for someone who's super famous to occasionally want to go out in public and not be noticed.
Mm.
You know?
Okay.
Tons of
I even kind of
celebrities
like the
have that.
idea of that from like a roleplay standpoint. Maybe he
Or
overestimates
he's
his
trying
level
to
of
disguise.
fame,
Yeah, like he's
and
just
he-
theatrical makeup kind of.
Did
all
you
the
end
time.
up taking? Did you end up taking signature style or not? Because if you do, I don't think you're going to be wearing much of disguise.
He just sucks at it.
Yeah, I don't remember what we ended up with finally on there.
Yeah.
All right, so my template is starting to come back together again. I gotta rename all the cameras, but it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy.
That does
with
look
this.
pretty good. It's a lot of like empty space. I feel like you could make the gutters smaller if you wanted to get more.
Yeah, I probably will, but I also
Yeah.
need to like figure out who's coming.
Right. Yeah. No. It's like
What about
it is a
class?
mess trying to do it through Discord. Honestly, it's just not clean.
Free fall.
It's almost worth getting Zoom just for that, so I can drag people to their spot, you know, and that never
Well,
moves.
I mean, is that true
Con.
though?
I took
Like,
con
it
off
might.
there,
Does it
but
keep
I
the
see.
same order or the same
Yeah,
position,
con.
right? Because I think that's the big thing. Is that somebody joins and somebody leaves, you might stay the same order, but you'd still like shrink down, right? Doesn't it still sort of collapse?
Let's
I
just
actually am not
add a
too
couple of
sure.
points to some of these, I think. Throwing weapons. We're sneaking. Well, you pick one of these number ones that you want to up a little bit.
I mean, what would you recommend? What do you think is most useful?
Honestly, I think your disguise or sneaking.
I would probably go for sneaking over disguise.
Okay. Okay.
I would like you to take free fall and do jump
True.
like do some skydiving.
True
It's a
story.
fun stunt.
Okay,
That
let me
was
see if
almost
I
on my
can-
list of required things.
It's
And
not.
this
Um,
shout out, I always do this story about Lehman. And we're on the top of a building, on a balcony.
So, Matt,
remember-
what's the
you remember this,
character's
Phil?
name?
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
and there's a
Water
big
sport.
fight, and they are wearing parachutes, but he gets kicked off the building during the fight, and he's falling, and he's defaulting to use free fall. Tries to do it, critical glitch, and
That is the big part about like making a test that you're not good at. It's not the fear of failing, it's that the way that glitches work, right? If you don't know, is that if you roll a 1, you have to roll a number of 1s equal to half the number of dice you have. So if you have 5 dice, you have to roll like 3 1s for it to glitch. But if you've got 1 die,
Yeah.
you only have
Okay.
to roll 1, right? Like the odds of glitching go up.
Yeah.
And the other thing was,
Okay,
and
we're
the best
almost
part
done,
was,
guys. I
we
gotta
didn't
interrupt
even
you.
ever ask his
Fair.
name.
I gotta interrupt you. Sorry, Matt. You
It's
had
okay.
a name, some kind of name working, right?
Call him Schwarzenegger for now. That'll probably change, but
What's your like running name, right? So you're this like influencer character who's like, I gotta do some shadow running. What is the coolest thing in their mind for a shadow runner? That's the way I like to approach it. Like, what do they think a cool shadow runner name would be?
Smooth criminal.
Nice.
not bad.
Okay, I'm saving him. There he is, in all his beauty. Let me drop him into the chat. Where did I put him? There he is. You may download him.
Yeah, so that's basically done then, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you.
Yeah, and of course, like, I mean, if there's any stuff where you're looking at it and going, oh, that was terrible, I want to change that, we can tweak it.
I mean, I
That's
don't
a
even
great
think we know
picture,
to do
too.
that until we've started playing with it. So
Well, yeah, and so you'll get to know it. And honestly, like, we've done a good job, all of us together here, in sort of getting him, like,
yeah, I feel like you've kind of guided me along the
Yeah.
path of balancing fun with
So-
being effective.
so just like to get to know it, right? All of your skills are linked to an attribute. So if I go down here to active skills, this is automatic, linked to agility, linked to logic, linked to agility. So your skill level here, for example, in blades is level 6. Your agility is 4. So you're always rolling, when you're rolling your blades, you're rolling 6 plus 4. But handy, the sheet just puts it over here, shortcut. You're always rolling 10 dice when you're rolling blades, right? Where
Yep.
you're rolling 9 dice for gymnastics, 7 for leadership, right?
Those
Down
are
here
so
you're
much
rolling
dice.
16 dice if you want to run anywhere. Apparently it's
Yeah.
Usain Bolt. Anyway,
What's my running?
Yeah.
So-
I got a lot.
other things
This is a
worth
lot.
knowing. Okay, so you're
Actually, that gives me a name for a runner name. It could be Green Lightning.
Green Lightning. I like that. So your natural recovery, this is kind of like
Or like a
screwed
play
up
on
here.
Mean Streak, be Green Streak.
Green streak. Nice.
I like that too. That's really good.
That's a good
Green
name.
streak. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll change the name right now.
So
Although it makes it harder to fit in.
things worth knowing for when you're running, when we're running the game. Your damage resistance is going to be body plus armor. So where is that here? Here it is. Right, so you've got armor 9, your damage is 8, so you're rolling 17 for damage resistance here. Your edge pool, so this is where, like, when you have 5, when you're like, okay, I'm going to use a point of edge, so you would tick this off, just keep track of it somewhere, but you would get to add 5 dice to that roll up to 5 times in
in that session.
And yeah, your edge value never decreases. It's just
Yeah.
like, so edge roll number 1, you add 5 dice. Roll number 2, you add 5 dice. You always add 5 dice.
Yeah,
Assuming you're doing the dice adding option.
which is
It's a
always the
number
best
of
way to do it.
uses, but also it's the amount that is being added.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like exponential kind of. The more you put into it, the more useful it is.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. If you have like 9 in edge, you get to add 9 dice, and you can do it 9 times.
So
If
then
you have,
down
like,
here,
2 in edge, 2 dice twice.
so then down here is more roleplay stuff like addiction, resistance is not very often something you're gonna have to roll. This just, this is what your positive and negative qualities are, just to think about as you're role playing, to like press into them. You naturally have low light vision because of being an orc. Your identities, I just put this in there, like you have that corporate sin, so it's whatever your real name is potentially.
Right.
And then this is just gear I threw in there. And then these are your contacts. I didn't put names in. This is the actual name of the guy that everybody knows. That's how you get into the game. There's your BioWare and Cyberware there. So your boosted reflexes here came up here and augmented and gave you this extra die right there for rolling initiative. That's how that kicked in. Your muscle augmentation here added to your strength, which means it was 8, now it's 9.
A question on the attributes there. Is it like 1 for 1, or does like going from 7 to 8 cost extra rank?
It's exponential, so it's double the. You pay. I have to double check it, but I think you pay double the level you're going to plus 10. I think that's
It's
how it
something
works.
like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Basically, like character creation, you get a number of points that you can just put in stuff.
Yeah.
But then after the game started, you're spending karma, and it's a formula to how you calculate it. So
Yeah, so
starting with
raising-
like really high stats is pretty common because it's
Yeah.
those are the ones that are harder to get.
Yeah,
But it's like the same number of
exactly.
starter points. But that's a
And raising like base attributes is much harder than much more expensive than raising skills. Raising skills is, I think, just like double the level you're going to, right? Pretty sure.
But then the attributes equally are that much more valuable, right? Because
Exactly.
you're upping 7 skills or however many skills at the same time that are linked to that attribute.
Yep.
So your knowledge skills here, right? Remembering any way that you can think, and I mean, I'm pretty liberal with this, but any way you can justify augmenting an active skill roll by first rolling a knowledge roll, sure, go for it, What's cut off here is this is 12 dice. Okay, so when you've taken stun damage after the combat or whatever has finished, you can roll 12 dice, and that's however many hits you get is however many points of stun damage you remove in a 1 hour period. Physical, it looks like you've got 16 dice, and however many hits you get on that roll is how many boxes you remove in a day.
And it's divides, so if you're like a half a day, then you can get half the number of boxes and so on.
Yeah.
It's pretty handy that way.
Yeah. This is just like mechanics based stuff. Just notes essentially. So if in combat you're like, I'm gonna go full defense, you get plus 40 your dice pool, or they get, a reduction to their dice pool to hit you. All this stuff. And then your damage calculate. You don't even actually have a gun. So we didn't buy you one in the gear.
maybe I got it's fine.
but where's your weapons? Where do we put weapons? Weapons. So when you're doing damage, let's say you're using the sword here. Damage has two types. It's either stun with the S here or P, physical. And that goes back up to these, all the NPCs have a physical damage track and a stun damage track. Stun, if you fill up all these boxes, right, you've got 10 here, the 11th overflows into physical. So back down here with weapons, so this sword, so it's always an opposed test, all combat. So you would roll your melee weapon skill, which would be blades here, so you roll your 10 dice. If you get, say you get 4 hits on that, and the guy defending gets 3, you have net 1 hit. So your damage would be 12 physical plus net hits. So it would be 13 physical. Minus his armor, whatever armor. So then he would get to resist that 13 physical damage, right? So then if you hit him, if he's got say his armor is 6, he would roll 6 plus his body. Say his body's 5, so he's rolling 11 dice. If he gets 3 hits, he reduces your 13 physical damage down to 10. It's a bit of a calculation, but this is this is where you find your damage. So if you're going to use your sword, it's 12p, right? Your shot glove is electric. So this minus
Which would be
2.
great lyrics for a song, by the way. Just saying.
So, and you can remind me of this too, like when you're using the sword, that minus 2 there is to their armor rating. Okay. Because the sword is somewhat armor piercing. The electric shock glove goes through armor a bit, so that's why it's a minus 5 to their armor rating. The knife is a minus 1 to their armor rating, whereas these knucks, no plus or minus. Same with the unarmed strike, no plus or minus. So knucks are great because essentially you're just turning your punches from stun to physical damage, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's really the benefit there. A little bit extra right on the damage value versus your unarmed.
Or when you feel like leaving a body count.
Man, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so that he's pretty straightforward, which is good. It's not a lot of crazy shit to remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need too much crazy stuff to remember exactly.
Yeah, I think just lean into the influencer thing. Who will punch people?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about how the combat's gonna work in this so far, so I figured I'd just come with a personality and the idea of a character that's gonna be growing a lot while he goes through the game. So
yeah, solid.
Well, lots of body, lots of strength is going to go a long way in combat. So
yeah, he's gonna be a bit of a monster in some ways. Yeah, it's good to have one.
Until
of those.
the mage comes along and says, "Jedi mind trick, you're mine now."
Hey, fight your friends.
Yeah, switches. So Todd has to remember to allocate defensive.
I don't know,
dice.
this guy from Adam.
Yeah, he's an unhairy version of this guy, pretty much.
yeah, pretty similar build. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think he's gonna be fun. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Okay, right on.
Oh man, I should know not to aim my cameras. It's just like ping, ping, ping.
Did I screw you up there? Your templates?
I should just turn everything off. There we go. Oh,
If you ever have the time, Steve, I know like it's a super a pain to try and do, but I would love to know what page the like you can use a knowledge skill for a bonuses, because that feels like a home rule or an old edition thing, because I've never been able to find it.
I mean, it probably is an old edition.
It might be
Yeah.
that I'm carrying it over.
I think it's totally legit, especially like, you know, as the GM you can enforce that, but it is one of those like I'm super curious if that's actually in the rules or not.
Okay, let me look it up.
I have not been able to find it.
It's a good question because I am not sure either, but I know we've always sort of played that way.
Yeah.
Or
I think there are certain kinds of tests where you can do that,
Yeah. Makes sense.
but not
I know
every
there's like
single
like for example, like helping tests, right? You can
Yeah.
test your skill to give dice to somebody else who's doing the same skill or stuff like that, right? But it's a bit different.
yeah, let's see.
So, Steve, how many people have we heard back from? I'm just curious.
The people currently here.
Okay, and Bella.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes my job a little easier.
That's just one of those things that like I've definitely seen in other games where people sort of show up to the table and they present a rule as like a player, right? They just sort of play as if a rule is true because, you know, you don't read the entire manual when you play role-playing games usually, right? You just do what you've been told. And so when people present a rule as being definitive, like an official rule, and then you go to like a different table with that rule in your brain, it can be weird sometimes. I've definitely seen that with like D&D and stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of-
one thing
Like,
had
oh, you
somebody.
can push as a bonus action. It's like, no, you can't. That's a home rule and stuff like that.
I once had somebody come to my game and tell me that maximize spell maximized any numeric quality, so that even worked on like as a skill by level. So you'd be like, I'm gonna maximize my fireball and do 20d6, and they're all sixes, and it's like that doesn't work like that. You don't get to maximize the level scaling with that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine what DM told them that was okay. That's
Right, yeah.
I mean, what you get fireball at level 5, I think is the earliest you can get it if you go pure wizard.
Probably, yeah. Depends on
Yeah,
what
that
like
sounds about right.
you're doing, but it's usually a 5. It's a 3rd level skill, and 3rd level is it's half your wizard level rounded up, so 5.
Let's try page 147.
Yeah, like I sense I'm sort of using it more like previous versions of the game, because really all it is do you know this or not? Like that's how the only way it's really
Right.
describing it.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
what I was able to see. So,
But there has
That
to be
makes
some.
sense.
Back in the day, well, the new Shadowrun basically that's all it had anyway. Like they didn't
Yeah.
even introduce some of these concepts in the in the new one.
But I prefer
Yeah.
to use it how we use it because it gives you more practical value to the knowledge skill.
oh, definitely.
And
No, I think it's
honestly-
a good rule. And what the heck?
And honestly,
Sorry, go ahead.
if you're like really thinking about it's only a dice pool modifier, and everything in Shadowrun's a dice pool modifier, right?
Yep.
So if that's all
Mhm.
we're doing with it, I think we just keep going that way.
Well, a lot of rules in games, especially like games like Shadowrun, where they have this sort of extra crunch that you kind of don't need. I think a lot of these games, it's like here are the base rules of the game, and then the GM can add their own little rulings, and then those rulings get made into official rules in the next edition, and then you end up just with this like game that has a whole bunch of like fringe situation rulings, and it's like
Yeah.
those don't need to be spelled out rulings. They are like a ruling a
And
GM
yet they
could
are in this game.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm saying a lot of games they are, right? And it's just really it's a game that says the GM can make a ruling. Here is a ruling that other GMs have made.
Yeah.
And it's not. But what happens is once you codify it in a book, it ends up being the like, nope, the book says I get this. Right.
Yeah. Something I was looking for in here.
As yeah, at the end of the day, so what does a knowledge skill do for you? Yeah, it doesn't directly affect the active skill according to the rules, right? But it gives you information. So the knowledge skill is there to allow the GM to provide information to the player, right?
Right.
But once your character knows something, like it gives us example of, do you know this person's name
Sure.
based on your knowledge skills, right? So, okay, so you know the guy's name now, thanks to your knowledge. That's going to affect your social tests, right? Because now you know his
Totally.
name, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
it
And
does provide a dice.
Shadowrun's also one of those games that just kind of encourages the GM to like hand out bonus dice, right? It's like, oh yeah, and it gives it a list of examples of like, if you have this specific edge in a social situation, you get a bonus die. If you have this specific situation in a social situation, you get a bonus die. If this is going on, you get a penalty. And it's like it's really just a list of examples more so than it's a list of like actual things, because no one's going to pay attention to every single one of them. And the idea of using the social test is being like, yeah, you can make the test to see what you know, and then what you know is going to give you that positioning. But I do think that is more interesting to say, okay, is this actually going to teach me something that is going to be helpful, as opposed to just saying like, oh yeah, it just gives me bonus dice, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which can happen really easily. Of like, I know how to use this. I roll. It says I get 4 dice. I get an extra 4 dice. And it's like, okay, but what was it that you learned, right?
Yeah, and so this is where the player's ability to role play comes in, right? Because
What? That's not part of this. Hold on. Let's strike that from the record.
it's a gameplay mechanic, right? So if we choose to have the gameplay mechanic work this way or that way, at the end of the day, it's all really just how we play the game and the story we collectively tell, right? So,
right.
That's it. You're out. I'm kicking you.
If I roll my knowledge skill and I get an extra 2 dice, it's like I can say, okay, great, I just got an extra 2 dice, and then I roll the dice, and it's like, yep, okay, I was successful, and then like that's it, and I move on. Or I can be like, yeah, so I roll my knowledge skill, I get 2 hits, now I know I'm gonna have an extra 2 dice on my thing. I can be like, yeah, so my character remembers this guy from that time and whatever, right? Like, this is all really how you, as a player,
Sure, but it's also
interact with
in
dice.
a specific situation. It is it's sort of expected as a GM thing. Now, I do encourage GMs to throw it back and be like, "Cool, you learned something. Tell me what you learned," right? And then the player is put on that spot. But if the idea is that the one test is getting you knowledge, that is knowledge usually from the GM, which you then would incorporate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like just reading here, like advice for the GM. It's like, if you want to add house rules, just discuss them ahead of time.
100%. Yeah. No, I was not saying like you're doing it wrong. I was just
no.
Yeah.
I remember them phrasing it differently in. I think they were more upfront about it in SR3 or SR4, where they're like, if you don't like a rule, change it. Like,
I've got all the rule books. Let's have a look. I wonder when it came in.
Yeah. I remember it saying that in one of the editions, like, if you want to add a rule, add it. If you don't like a rule, change it. The point of this is to have fun. And then, so that, like, I've always looked at Shadowrun that way, where it's like,
and it's so crunchy, you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd just be there all day arguing over, like, no, my dice pool has an extra 2.47. And it's like, no, just have fun.
That is kind of one of the things that sort of weirdly annoys me about Shadowrun, is that it feels like it's not that I don't think that that's good. I think that is good, but it is a game that like presents itself as being, hey, you're here to have fun, find the rules that work for you, and then presents the game as very like really by the numbers crunchy. It's like
I wonder if that's them.
Like,
I wonder if that's the game designers just giving you the tools to say like, hey, here's some rules that we know work. If you follow all these rules, the game works really nicely.
You know what? Phil, you're on to something. I think you need to look at it as one of those Chinese food places that have 18,000 things on the menu, and it's like, I'll have 36 and number 99 to 112, right? Like, just look at Shadowrun. Let's look at the rule book like that.
Right. Yeah, and like that would be an interesting way of presenting the rules.
Yeah.
But like kind of it's just like a little footnote about like, change it.
Well, that's my house rule. My house rule is like
direction of how I should be utilizing your rule set, instead of just saying, change it.
We're gonna just
unnecessary
try to focus on plot and fun and.
And honestly, I think you do a great job of GMing the system, right? Like,
oh, thank you.
And as a
definitely,
it's also just one of those things to encourage players of like, go with the flow. The idea of saying, well, technically the spirit couldn't have done that because I know the stats of the spirit. Like, that's whatever.
No, I think, like, why are we here, right? We're here to have fun and to, if we get bogged down in anything.
I mean, that only goes so far because, you know, it is a game. If we can't expect the rules to work the way we think they will, then that can be a disconnect as well. So,
Right.
So
Yeah,
it
like
seems
if
SR4 is the same as SR5. It just gives you information. It's
Well-
like here's a rare type of rock. Figure out what type of rock this is.
yeah.
Part of the issue is sometimes between editions, they haven't actually taken a deep dive and read everything again. So
That's
there's
true.
some
They just
stuff that's
copy paste
legitimately in there by
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's what
shut my
they-
stream off. by the
Darcy
way.
pointed that out to me when SR6 came out. He was like, "Oh, this is great, but what's that?"
There are definitely